Welcome, cricket fans of America. This is your game. The 2025 Minor League Cricket Championships, Day 3 of a Labor Day cricket extravaganza as we open up the 2025 season. And we've got for you the second game of the second doubleheader here at Arroyo Park in Davis, California. It's the Golden State Grizzlies coming in with a record of 1-1, having gotten their first win yesterday in dramatic fashion against the defending division champions, facing off with the San Diego Surf Riders, who come in 1-2. They lost to those self-same East Bay Blazers in their opening game and then split a pair yesterday against the Seattle Thunderbolts, who in our opening game of today's action beat the LA Lashings, holding on for dear life in a game that for a little while looked like it was going to be a laugher and then looked like the Lashings might well pull it out. The truth, somewhere in between. And the net run rate not nearly as big of a hit as they might have been worried about. As you see on the screen, the San Ramon Grizzlies, newly rechristened San Ramon Grizzlies, have won the toss and will be batting first. Last season, 1-2, their record when they batted first in a match. This season, they've batted first in all three, or are about to have batted first in all three of their matches so far. As we mentioned, batted first against Silicon Valley on the 29th, put up a 148 for 7 total, and then coughed up that target on the very final ball of the game to lose by 3 wickets. Yesterday, they put up 134 for 9, slightly smaller total. That turned out to be enough to take home the win. East Bay Blazers restricted to 127 for 9 in a thrilling final over. As for the San Diego Surf Riders, last season 3-3 when they were chasing. They were also 1-1 when they batted first. They were a very equilibrated side, going 4-4. So far this season, every game they've played has been won by the team that batted first, but that's only been them on one occasion. That was yesterday's opening game of the doubleheader when they put up 133 for 7 and managed to hold on by 4 runs against the Seattle Thunderbolts. In the late game, the Bolts batted first, put up 125 for 5, and the final wicket was lost on the Nelson, 111 for 10. Against East Bay Blazers, they got to a good start with the ball and then ran into Saideep Ganesh and Abhishek Paradkar, and a massive partnership ended up falling in that one by 57 runs, the most resounding win for any team here in the West Division thus far. So it will be the men in red, the San Ramon Grizzlies. They've gone back to their colors from their first 3 seasons here in MILC. They were red and gold, sort of the colors of the San Francisco 49ers for a good long while. Last year, they went for a bit of a youth movement, considered themselves the Bad News Bears, and went to blue and gold, looking an awful lot like the neighboring Bears of Cal Berkeley. This season, back to the red, and the opening partnership will be that between Rahul Jariwala and Aaron Johnson. So far, a rather productive one to this point in the season. And Aaron Johnson in particular, who appears set to face the first ball out of the hand of the youngster, Sabrish Prasad. Both teams this morning and afternoon have elected to open their bowling at the beginning of the game with a bit of spin. Seattle Thunderbolts, the only team that went against that, as they bowled almost exclusively pace over the course of their 20 overs. But it'll be Sabrish Prasad facing off with the Canadian legend Aaron Johnson, and the first delivery is on the ground, and immediately we see the activity of the San Diego Surf Riders in the field. Abhi Singh stopping that for a dot delivery. Two years ago, AJ was playing with the Seattle Thunderbolts at the end of the season. That one is fired over the top of the drawn-in infield. No deep protection there, as the deep men to start today's match are located at third man and at deep mid-wicket against the righty Aaron Johnson. Good stuff to get started here, and Aaron Johnson, an absolute menace. We mentioned the 2 games with Seattle at the end of the 23 season. He's had 2 games with San Ramon. I need to make a swear jar because I'm going to do that a few times tonight. I apologize in advance to the new ownership group. That one lofted even higher over the infield, and in fact that one going all the way over the outfield and the boundary rope. A 6 on this third delivery out of the hand of the 17-year-old. Just a good steady base, leans forward, doesn't need a ton of footwork to get to that. And another good inside-out shot. He's gone to the offside all three deliveries so far. And correction, by the way, it's not third and mid-wicket that's deep, it's third and long on. That one worked off the hips. Johnson starts to come down the wicket, but he will head back. Snell Patel, the man with the gloves, will tell you about the team sheets after this first over comes to a close. But Aaron Johnson, all you need to know is 4 innings in minor league cricket, 4 half-centuries. That one's off the pads, but going down leg, the indication from our umpire. Thus far, he has faced all 5 deliveries. He will face the 6th. 3 dots, pair of boundaries. Feast or famine so far, but San Ramon off to a quick start. Courtesy of the 34-year-old Canadian international. Last delivery worked to the onside. They'll take a quick single. He will retain the strike, and Rahul Jariwala will have to continue to wait his turn as the first over comes to a close. 11 for no loss, all off the bat of Aaron Johnson. A quick look here at the teams, and we'll start with the San Ramon Grizzlies, who make 2 changes to the side that ran out yesterday and took win number 1 of the season against the East Bay Blazers. Adnesh Tandale and Manav Nayak out. Zia Mohammad Shahzad in his return to the Northern California area, and the Grizzlies in particular. And Mohit Nataraj, the old reliable standby, into the team in their place. As for the San Diego Surf Riders, bowling first at the behest of the Grizzlies, they make 3 changes. Out AJ Sharma, Vijayaram Nandula, and Kairav Sharma. In Supranch Kumar, Kunj Bhagat, and newcomer Rahim Mangal, just added to the roster before today's game. So after that first over, as we switch sides and look at the first balls to be bowled from the Sahadeo Pavilion end, it appears those will be out of the hand of Supranch Kumar. These two, a pair of youth players that were both in the system of the Silicon Valley Strikers last season, but did not see game action. Both of them have been active so far in this season. In fact, Supranch, 18-year-old pacer, took his first MILC wicket, bowling Sanjay Krishnamurthy in the game on Friday. First delivery to Aaron Johnson, another single. He's got 12, and finally Rahul Jariwala gets to face a ball. Supranch decked out in the sun cream here. Steams in over the wicket. Rahul Jariwala, with that lazy elegance he's got, works that to the offside. Long run for both fielders, and he'll pick up 2 off his first ball faced. Jariwala, somebody that one of the Grizzlies co-owners, Nirav Shah, told me last year they've wanted him since 2021, and it was last season when they did their youth movement. They promised the opportunity for a little more responsibility for some of these young players, the likes of him and Dev Tadani and Adnesh Tandale. Rahul, now captain of the side, 2 off his first ball. Here's the second. That one is headed out towards greener pastures. It's going to go all the way out on the offside for a 6. Rahul enters the party. Good bit of width on offer. Gets down on the one pad. Drives that beautifully. Nobody in that vicinity there. A big gap. Of course, in the power play, just 2 fielders permitted outside that 30-yard circle. Right now, that deep protection was largely square of the wicket at point and at square leg. The man at point now moves to a much narrower sweeper cover. Next ball is put in on the body against Jariwala. Rahul able to work it away for a single. That'll put AJ back on strike. 910 runs in T20Is in his career at a 147 strike rate. In fact, his 121 not out off against Panama ranks in the top 30, I should say top 40 scores ever in a T20I international. Taps this one to the offside. Runs off every ball so far against Supranj Kumar. Bit different from the feast or famine against Sabrish. Only thing coming into this season, in what little data I had on AJ, that seemed to bottle him up was left arm pace. But he hits pretty much everything else very, very hard. That one dropped as well, this time into the onside rather. They'll exchange places. Rahul Jariwala will retain the strike, and it'll be a 12-run over off the first one from a pacer. Supranj goes for 12, San Ramon 23 for no loss through 2.
Real estate has been my life for the past 20 years.
Look, anyone can write a contract, but Alka guides you to the right decision.
Alka's enthusiasm and professionalism in the real estate field makes her tops.
Yeah, you know, we've known Alka for almost 20 years. We've done 8 transactions with her. Do we need to say anything more?
.23 for no loss through 2. Both batters into double figures already. And it appears it will be a change of bowlers. A little delayed in making the announcement and doffing the sun hat, but it will be Sukhwant Sekon. His lefty pace to come in from the Usman Khan end. Sekon actually a member of this Grizzlies team last season when he took 4 wickets in 12 overs. Economy of about 8.42. This one guided wide of the man in the inner circle. Single for Jariwala, and they keep it going. This season so far, he has taken a few decent-sized names for his wickets. He got Sujit Gowda on Friday against East Bay and took out Ian Dev Chauhan bowled on Saturday, one of his 2 wickets for 25 runs. The only game in which he was held wicketless, oddly enough, their only win, went in a run a ball for 3 overs, but did not strike. Aaron Johnson works that to the offside, and so far that has been the way of it here. The Surf Riders bowling a lot of wider deliveries, and Grizzlies happy to take what's on offer. Johnson up to 14. We often talk about a guy's low score or high score when we discuss things in a minor league. Almost makes more sense to talk about Aaron Johnson's low score of a 51. That one worked away. No, into the gloves of the keeper. Sorry, I got briefly confused. I thought I missed the ball disappearing off the bat of Rahul Jariwala for a second because nobody was reacting. Then it came out of the keeper's hand, and okay. Good line and length, not able to ride the bounce on that delivery. That one's lifted, and after the first dot in 8 deliveries, that's a 6 that is one hop into an adjoining backyard. Rahul Jariwala stand and deliver. Just have not bowled it wide enough to truly challenge They've put it right in that slot, and a lot of deliveries just altogether too full for a batter of this quality. The frustrating thing if you're a Surf Rider is you get two batters of that quality at either end. Never had the opportunity to do much in the way of preseason commentary or anything like that on the MILC show, but I do know that upon seeing the draft lists and some of the signings, and particularly when Aaron Johnson came aboard, my judgment at the time was that if not in the league, for sure in this Western Division, this Grizzlies team has got to be the most improved looking roster. Part of that is because they did indeed tear it down last season. But bringing back the likes of Zia Shahzad and Harish Kakani, bringing in Aaron Johnson, who has played better than you might even have imagined going into this season in the opening weekend. And pulling in Ayan Desai and Vedant Jain from LA Lashings in the course of the draft. A real power play wicket taker. We'll see what Desai is up to in about an hour, hour and a half's time. And then adding to that, right at the very, very end, Kevin Stout in from Fort Lauderdale Lions as a free agent. What a monster acquisition that could potentially be. He is in the 11 today, as he has been for the first two games as well. So a pause here while we locate a suitable replacement ball for the one that was just 2.4 overs old, although worth noting that it might be 2.4 overs old, that it has been dispatched for 4 boundaries already in those first 16 balls. So might be a little oblong by now. Getting smacked all over the yard so far is this San Diego Surf Riders attack. And Grizzlies off to a flyer, a run rate of 11.62. Remarkable difference from what we've been getting used to these last 4 matches that have been held between Santa Clara and up here at Arroyo Park in Davis. We thank you for joining us here on the MLC Network. I can't remember if I recalled to introduce myself. My name is Joe Hickey. Happy to be spending this Labor Day weekend with all of you. Michelle Tico at the controls, Stanley on the camera work. Coming over the wicket is Sukhwant Sekon. Going a little straighter, trying to create a slight angle across Jadiwala. Holds him to a single off that ball. 1 left here in the over. Final delivery, a little bit of in swing, and Aaron Johnson dispatches that well wide of the deep man. A couple of bounces and across the rope. 5 boundaries in the first 3 overs, and everybody's taken some tap. 11 off of Sabrish, followed up by 12 off of Supranch. Sukhwant comes in, he goes for 13. A 6 from Jadiwala, a 4 from Aaron Johnson. And San Ramon Grizzlies going at 2 runs a ball, 36 for no loss through 3.
From USA to India, experience journeys like never before. Book your tickets today with Fantastic Fare, your ticket to cricket and beyond. Book today and celebrate with Fantastic Fare.
And it'll be our first look at Kunj Bhagat this season. Into the team for the first time in 2025. And straight into the attack from the Sahadeo Pavilion end. Number 7 on the back of the 30-year-old left-arm spinner. He's got Jadiwala on strike to begin with. First delivery run back, or rather smacked back, fine of the protection in the circle at mid-on. And the boundaries just keep flowing here for the San Ramon Grizzlies. Another 4 off the bat of Rahul Jariwala. He's the first one into the 20s. On the season, hasn't had a chance to express himself quite like this yet. 16 off 16 on Friday, 29 off 24. Right now works this one into the onside. Vacant area at mid-wicket. Takes a single and hands a strike back to his teammate. Just a good, confident stroke, getting to the pitch of the ball well. A crowd of defenders on the offside, 5 of them here against Aaron Johnson, learning from what he's done so far. So he'll go to the onside. Loops that one wide of the deep man out there, a long run. It will be chased down. Pair of runs on offer, but I was starting to say 5 on the offside. Got a third man in the circle, backward point. Cover, extra cover, and mid-off. Deep protection at mid-wicket. And up on the hill at long off. That one's in the direction of the crowd of fielders on the offside, and Kunj Bhagat bowls to a plan and takes out Aaron Johnson for the first time in his MILC career, gone prior to reaching the 50 milestone. He'll depart with 20 off of 12. We were just mentioning the absolute crowd on the offside. If something got ladled into the air in that vicinity, the only way that Johnson was going to be saved was going to be if they fought over it. Looped up into the air and settled under by the number 9, Abhinay A.B. Reddivanapalli. So Johnson gone with 20 off 12. First wicket down at 44 for 1. And welcome back, Kunj Bhagat, to minor league cricket. His first innings of the season, as we were saying. 4 wickets in 11 overs last year, 27.3 per. His economy was up near 10. It was a lot worse against left-handed batters, so it'll be nice to see, at least for now, the presence of righties. Although it was interesting that it wasn't that the lefties were hitting Kunj harder. It was that they seemed more willing to run against him. It was the non-boundary strike rate jumping from 82 to 108 when you switch sides of the batting crease. Still waiting for it to update appropriately on the batting card, as right now they're showing that as a wide instead of a wicket. I don't think there was a wide. I think they hit the wrong W word. First delivery to the new batter. Who's the number 1. I believe that is Akash Sundaresan. Confirmed. And another nice line. Akash lets that one go by for the final ball of over number 4. So a 4 to start it, but Kunj Bhagat gets his man, the Canadian, in the shed on 20. San Ramon Grizzlies 45 for 1. Sekon stays on for the next over from the Usman Khan end. Started strong in his first over, single dot, but then conceded a 6 to Jadiwala and a 4 to the now departed Aaron Johnson. Ended up going for 13. Most of the overs have gone for relatively big runs so far. Looking to stem the flow now with Aaron Johnson out. First ball to Jadiwala, tapped back to him. Last year's Sekon, we mentioned, 4 wickets in 12 overs. Tended to take his wickets at the death, though, in 2024. That one's airborne. He might have a power play one. Kunj Bhagat backpedaling, and that's all for Rahul Jadiwala. And in the span of just a couple of balls, both of the openers depart. And that bright start, already a thing of the past, a bit shockingly given how fluid both batters looked. We'll see who will be out to partner Akash Sundaresan in the near future. Don't have a replay of that wicket, unfortunately, to show you. But 2 power play wickets down. Sukhwant Sekon striking here to remove the remaining opener. Just like that, wickets falling at 44 and at 45 runs. And we'll look now for a rebuild. The new man at the crease, the number 76, Kevin Stout. This rather frequently the sort of place that the 39-year-old from St. Michael, Barbados would come in with the Fort Lauderdale Lions in terms of number, maybe occasionally a little later, 5 or 6. So far this season, a 5 off 9 and an 11 off 15. Last year, if you got to see him bat at the death, he was a finisher. 177 strike rate and more than a quarter of the balls sent to the boundary. A great deal more circumspect when he bats in the middle. And at least for the data set I had, I'm not sure I had any balls faced in the power play, period. Over the course of his last 2 years with the Fort Lauderdale Lions. A free agent, now out here on the West Coast. That one pops up, could be a caught and bowled, but Sekon can't get there, and neither can Snell, pouncing out from behind the wicket. Solid over here from Sukhwant Sekon, as the San Diego Surf Riders look to pull this one back. For about 3.5 overs, it looked like the San Ramon Grizzlies were batting on an entirely different surface from what we've been looking at the last day and a half. Normal service restored now, though. Swing and a miss. Have not seen a run off the bat for the last 7 deliveries after the wicket of Rahul Jadiwala. Which I suppose means it's been 8 deliveries. That one worked off the pads, and it will deny Sukhwant Sekon a wicket maiden here in the 5th over. But just a single run from it as Kevin Stout gets underway, and another wicket down. We'll see if San Diego can take that dreaded 3rd inside the power play in the final over of it when we come back here. San Ramon, 46 for 2.
United Tax, empowering your financial future. Expert financial planning, reliable taxation services, building wealth, minimizing tax, serving families and businesses nationwide. Contact us for further discussions.
.46 for 2 once the single updates on our live scorecard here. It's a leg by is what apparently led to the delay in getting that on the board here. It'll be Kevin Stout, not actually underway, but retaining strike as Kunj Bhagat continues from the Sahadeo Pavilion end. Looking for the quick single. The throw likely did not have Stout in any trouble. And now he is indeed underway. Elsewhere in MILC, not as busy of a day as we've had in the last couple, largely due to the fact that the entire Central Division slate got rained out today at Prairie View and at Musa. Just one of the games got started. That one at Musa, Michigan Cricket Stars and Lone Star Athletics. Flattens that out, and it's launched towards the man at long off, and it's a bit too hot to handle for Shehan Fernando, who puts it down. Akash Sundaresan underway now with his first run of the day. I think Shehan Fernando would tell you he's got to take that one. Staying flat, and that one gets almost under the bat of Kevin Stout. A little more flight from Bhagat on that one, and it's rolled to long on, or mid on rather. Supranj Kumar up throwing. But again, no real danger at the bowler's end for Kevin Stout, even had it been a direct hit. Pattern recognition says this last ball of the power play ought to be a dot. That one, though, is wide of the deep protection at long off. Shehan Fernando will have to go fetch that one, and instead it's a 4 off the final ball to bring up the 50 on the last ball of the power play. Bhagat flighting that one, and it's a half volley for Akash, who dives in and takes full advantage. His first boundary shot of this 2025 season. And with that, San Ramon Grizzlies 53 for the loss of 2 at the end of the power play.
Real estate has been my life for the past 20 years.
Look, anyone can write a contract, but Alka guides you to the right decision.
Alka's enthusiasm and professionalism in the real estate field makes her tops.
Yeah, you know, we've known Alka for almost 20 years. We've done 8 transactions with her. Do we need to say anything more?
A look at the batting card at the end of the power play. The damage done up front. Aaron Johnson and Rahul Jariwala had them at 44 for no loss halfway through the 4th over. Since then, things have calmed down significantly. Just a further 9 runs off the remaining 2.5 overs. Kunj Bhagat and Sukhwan Sekon both striking. Sekon nearly, well, in fact, bowling a wicket maiden because that leg by does not count as a run against his total. Change of ends now for Supranj Kumar, who is going to come at you from the Usman Khan end for his second over of work, and the first without the fielding restrictions in place. Protection at backward square and long on the onside. There is a man in the circle on the onside, and that's where it gets worked. To fine leg, that'll be a quick single run by Kevin Stout. Supranj went for 12 in his first over of work. Economy of 9.5 in his outing on opening day, highlighted by the 1 wicket he took. He bowled Sanjay Krishnamurthy. Nice feather to have in one's cap, especially when you've been playing for Sanjay's rival team, the Strikers, for most of your youth. Run down to third man. San Ramon looking to continue to exchange the strike. Big surprise so far in the first 2 games of this season is we have not seen one of the stalwarts from 2024, Kranti Kumar Chintapalli. And until today, no Mohit Nataraj, no Zia Mohammad Shahzad. Both of them in the 11, though, for the first time, alongside another returner to the Bay Area in Harish Kakani. Worked off the pads and fine of mid-wicket. Kunj Bhagat over to claim. It'll just be a single run. Starting to tell you earlier about the no results in the Central due to the rain. Michigan Cricket Stars did put up 169 for 6 behind 63 off 27 from opener Ahmad Alam. 6 sixes for him. Good work by Lone Star Athletics Imran Khan Jr. and Nitish Kumar, though, with ball in hand to combine for 4 wickets and just 35 runs conceded in their 8 overs to try to pull that back. Looked like a good chase in the offing, but it was rained out 25 balls in. Another look at a potential run out, and this San Diego team over the years defined by their aggression in the field and by the stellar catches, throws we've seen over the years. Abhinay Reddy Vandapalli, one of the central figures in that, but that culture just infuses everybody in the tropical yellow and sky blue. Or seafoam green. It's tough to tell these days. This looks a little green. I just don't know if the gradient never quite gets all the way to the sky blue. That one worked off the pads. Kevin Stout continues to operate in singles, 5 of them so far in this over between he and Akash. No result there for Cricket Stars and LSA as that one got abbreviated and then stamped out. Had they been able to bowl another 5 balls, they could have gone to DLS to determine a victor, but no such luck. The other 3 games never got started. Kings 11 Dallas versus Chicago Tigers, Chicago Kingsmen and Dallas Exploria Giants, St. Louis Americans and Metroplex Tracers. All left to sit and watch the raindrops fall. That one sneaks under the bat of Akash Sundaresan. Good work by Snell Patel to keep it right there and prevent the taking of any buys. 5 singles off over number 7. San Ramon Grizzlies 58 for 2.
From USA to India, experience journeys like never before. Book your tickets today with Fantastic Fare, your ticket to cricket and beyond. Book today and celebrate with Fantastic Fare.
A new phase of this innings as the San Ramon Grizzlies are looking to rebuild after their explosive opening partnership was shown the door within 4 balls of one another. If you're just joining us, Aaron Johnson 20 off 12, Rahul Jariwala 23 off 12. And they had the Grizzlies at 44 for no loss. Just 21 balls in. But then it was Kunj Bhagat getting AJ to hit it to a phalanx of defenders on the offside. And then Kunj himself making the catch off the bowling of Sukhwant Sekon to dismiss Rahul Jariwala 4 balls later. It is Bhagat continuing as that ball's shot to the offside and picks out Sunny Mataru in the circle. 3rd over on the bounce for Kunj. A little flatter. That one hurries up Stout. May have gotten a piece of pad. Well down leg, though. Pair of dots to start over number 8. Looks to lean back on one and shoots it through a gap on the offside. Deep protection out at sweeper cover will sweep it up. For Akash, already his best performance of the season. Had 2 off 7 before getting caught behind on Friday, 2 off 4 on Saturday. In fact, at the moment, he is 1 off of his MILC high score of 8. A young player, great fielder, pulls a bit of off spin. They're expecting him to eventually grow into a batter in this league. It's been slightly slow going, but he's on his way. There is that 8th run. Bhagat continuing to be very, very economical, especially considering the way that this all started. And he, along with that wicket maiden from Sukhwan Sekon, a big part of dragging this run rate down back towards 7.5. That one airborne for a tantalizing moment, but it will fall harmlessly to the ground. 3 singles taken off of the 8th over. Kunj Bhagat continuing to do great work, and it's 61 for 2. Howdy, folks. This is what it looks like here as we all try to stay cool in these 99, 100, 101 degree days in Davis, California. This is the 4th of 6 games this weekend here near the state capitol, and we are thrilled to have you along for it. Decided that one way of dressing for the heat was to wear a Sri Lanka jersey. Figured they would likely understand the kind of weather we're dealing with here. The name of the game in Northern California, especially down in the Bay Area where I actually abide, is microclimates. Down in the Bay Area, it's a little bit hot, but it's not like this. Even Santa Clara the other day was only getting into the low 80s. 101, the official temperature right now. Ever since the departure of Jariwala and Johnson, 101, also a strike rate that the Grizzlies would kill for. They have slowed considerably since then. Supranj Kumar continues at the Usman Khan end. His first over at this end went for just 5 singles. Stout picks up another one, but you do see that circumspect nature in the middle overs. Akash, meanwhile, doesn't quite follow through on the shot, and he's picked out Abhi Singh at mid-off, drifting over to his left. And that's a catch apiece for the Abhis. Abhinay dismissing Aaron Johnson, and Akash Sundaresan has to go for 8 off 11, ties his MILC high, and just sort of checked this shot a little bit. You can see the bat turn in his hand. May have gotten that off the outer edge, didn't quite middle it. And the veteran Abhi Singh drifts over and takes it. Supranj Kumar into the wickets. As we told you, he took Sanjay on Friday. He gets Akash here. And the Surf Riders continue to work their way back into this after what had been kind of a smack-in-the-face start. We take another look here at this ball. Good-looking length there, particularly from Supranj. There was some width on offer, but that is a very good length ball there. Not a half volley, not short enough to readjust to the trajectory. If you were a shortstop trying to field it, you'd call it an in-between hop. And those are the ones that eat you up, and that one ate up Akash Sundaresan. New man at the middle is Harish Kakani in at 5. Third wicket partnership goes for 17 runs, Sundaresan and Stout. Harish Kakani 2 years ago, an acquisition from the San Diego Surf Riders, and somebody who, when he came up north, I was pretty excited to see up here. He was showing flashes of being a legitimate all-rounder in this league, and he's continued to prove that. Had 196 runs off the bat at a 24.5 average against with the Grizzlies, rather, in 2023. He's down in Texas with the Exploria Giants last year. But his stay is not going to last long. Edged and gone. Snell Patel to his right and claims that edge. And just like that, Supranch Kumar on a hat trick. We've had a few folks flirt with it this week here in this division. We see there no doubt about the deflection. And Snell Patel very secure with the gloves. We've seen Saurabh Netravalkar twice in the same over be on a hat trick. He went wicket, wicket, dot, wicket, wicket in the 5th over down in Morgan Hill yesterday against LA. We've seen Shadley van Skalkovic get onto it. I'd have to look through my other sheets, but it feels like there's been at least 4 or 5 real shouts at it. And we did, in fact, get the 10th hat trick in league history earlier today, but it didn't happen here. Happened over at the New York Ovals, where Devashwari Prasad bowled a triple wicket maiden in the 18th over for the Philadelphians, with the New England Eagles needing 29 off 18. Eagles had just gotten 20 off Ray Ramartan, seemed to be in a good spot to try and finish off a chase and go to 2-1 on the season. And then Prasad went dot, 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 wicket, wicket, wicket. Eventually took a 4th one on the penultimate ball with the Eagles needing 5 off 2 and kept Aryan Joshi from reaching the boundary off the last ball. Philadelphians winning earlier today to take their first win of 2025, and they get it by 2 runs with that hat trick. Supranch Kumar, a chance to add to that legacy. I don't know if we've ever had 2 in the same day. Here he comes. Buzzes the outside of off stump. Aggressively looking to try to clean bowl the new man at the crease, Sahil Garg. Garg lets it go rather than potentially chop it on and is rewarded for that discretion. He will live to fight another day. That one worked off the pads to the man at mid-on. Sukwan Sekon takes it. Whole heck of a lot of S names in this team, I tell you. Supranch, Sabrish, Sukwant, Snell, Shehan. Another new S name at the crease in Sahil. He's got his first run. Stout, now on strike for the final ball. Last delivery of the 8th. Excuse me, the 9th over, I should say. Goes for a single. That'll be all for that over. San Ramon Grizzlies now have collapsed from 44 for no loss to 64 for 4. Just telling you a moment ago about one of the 3 games that took place over on the East. One of the others over a lot earlier today. The Manhattan Yorkers not as lucky to pick up win number 1 as they fall to defeat by 39 runs against the NYC Titans. Gwaranshu Sharma's 67 off 49 and Kwame Patton's 46 off 24 helped the Titans reach 161 for 5. There were a few decent starts for Manhattan, but no one really took charge. Derek Narayan gone for 37, Danesh Patel for 30. And on the NYC side, Parveen Dul took 3 for 11 and Sahir Bhatia 2 for 20. Bhatia, after a phenomenal weekend so far, and he's still got 1 game left tomorrow, he leads the East Division in wickets with 7. He's fourth in MILC with that total. Everybody ahead of him plays in this division. Abhishek Paradkar, 8, including the 5-fer that he took on Friday, if I recall correctly. Matt Hennig with 9, including a 4-fer that he took yesterday. And Shadley van Schalkwyk, who's gone 3-3-3-4 to start the season, has 13, just one less than he took in all of MLC. Abanere Di Vandapali, his first over of work. A lot of width on offer, and it is poked over to the offside by Kevin Stout. A single there as, again, a small mini collapse here for the San Ramon Grizzlies. Started off 44 runs off the first 3.5 overs and had not lost a wicket. Since then, 5.5 overs, just 20 runs and 4 wickets down. Reddy looking to keep that rolling. This time targets the pads. Fought off, and Sahil Garg will fight another day. Last match over in the East was the New Jersey Derby between the Stallions and the Somerset Cavaliers. That won a bit of a romp. Sai Mukamala having a career weekend for the New Jersey Stallions. 4-wicket haul on Friday, and he had a 92 off 56. That is shot just barely wide of a leaping Sonny Mataru, and that'll be a 4. Sahil Garg had opened his account, but does so with some flourish on that delivery now. 5 off the 4 he's faced thus far. Again, the width on offer, that one comes up to shoulder height, and mainly full credit to Sahil to mostly get on top of that. He didn't pound it into the ground, but also didn't lollipop it in the direction of the Canadian on the inner circle. That had enough pace to beat him. Only way he was in trouble if it had been directly at him. And again, back to the pads. It for certain impacts them. We'll see if there was bat first, but the indication from our umpire is a leg by. Likely going well down leg, though. Garg moves across and will give the strike to Kevin Stout. Stallions were defending 188 against the Cavaliers after Sai Mukamala's big total. That one worked to the onside. Work to do out in the deep. It'll be potentially 2, no. Kevin Stout was about a third of the way down the pitch before Sahil Garg turned him back. Just a single. Mukamala joined by Akshay Homraj, who added 78 off 54. The two of them authored a 138-run second-wicket partnership. And they end up winning by 69 runs after bowling out the Somerset Cavaliers for 118. They take their first loss of the season. Stallions, a perfect 3-0. That's a full toss and maybe a beamer. That's headed towards the gap behind square leg. It is a 4, no signal of a no ball. And so that will be the end of the over. And a big one for Sahil Garg, who hits a pair of 4s. En route to bringing his total up to 9 off 6, and San Ramon's to 75 off 4 as we hit the drinks break.
United Tax, empowering your financial future. Expert financial planning, reliable taxation services, building wealth, minimizing tax, serving families and businesses nationwide. Contact us for further discussions.
Halfway point of the first innings of the second game of our doubleheader here on Labor Day Sunday. San Ramon Grizzlies 75 for 4. We'll show you a little bit of how they got there. Started very, very brightly with the partnership between Aaron Johnson and Rahul Jariwala. 43 runs between them off of 24 total balls faced. In fact, Aaron Johnson, before they went out, it had been 44 together off 21, complicit a handful of wide deliveries in the middle as well. And then in the span of 4 balls, Johnson and Jariwala were gone, and since then it has been much harder sledding. That was 3.5 overs in. They were at 44. You can see 31 runs since in the remaining 6.5 overs that have been bowled, and 4 wickets down in the process. Sundaresan going a little under a run a ball at 8 off 11. Stout still out there at 11 off 18. And when Sundaresan went, Supranj Kumar on the very next delivery got Harish Kakani out, caught behind by Snell Patel. You see the damage done here by the bowlers on their side of the ledger. Abhinay Reddy and Sabrish Prasad, who've bowled at either end of this here. Reddy the last over before the drinks break. Sabrish the opening over from the Usman Khan end. The only ones that haven't had a chance to have a rebuttal to an over that saw them get beaten up a little bit. Abhinay Reddy conceding a pair of 4s to Sahil Garg. Prasad was victimized by Aaron Johnson for a 4 and a 6 as he faced the Canadian for all 6 deliveries and conceded those 11 runs. Supranj, though, 2 for 20 and was on a hat trick. The umpteenth time this weekend that we've had somebody be on one. Only Devashwari Prasad over for the Philadelphians has managed to convert into what is now the 10th in MILC history. All 3 other bowlers going at roughly a run a ball, a little bit over, and with a wicket to their name, if not in the case of Supranj, 2. Sukhwant Sekon, responsible for dismissing Rahul Jariwala. Kunj Bhagat, the one who got rid of the big, dangerous Canadian, Aaron Johnson. It'll be Sabrish Prasad back into the attack now from the Usman Khan end. The 11th over of the encounter. And we'll finish up our trip around MILC. We've told you about in the East, NYC, Philadelphia, and the New Jersey Stallions all taking home victories. That does mean that the Philadelphians and the Eagles are both at 1 and 2. Titans and Cavaliers now both at 2 and 1. Stallions undefeated. Yorkers winless. First delivery shot over to the offside. Over in the covers, protection in the deep, and a single to get things started on the back half of the first innings by Kevin Stout. Sahil Garg 4 off 8 and 9 off 11 with a 4. In his first 2 innings this season, reaching out for one there. Somebody who's going to be a bit more comfortable with some width, I meant to say, given the way he's been dismissed so far. Bold and LBW. Anything not targeting the stumps, he's going to feel a little better about. That's a full toss that is stung and just barely does not carry to Supranj at cover. Dot ball, but at what cost? Correction, that's, I think, Skanda, the captain over there, number 03, not 3-0. Little flattened out there by Sabrish, that one on the ground, and picks out Kunj Bhagat this time. Little bit of flight, and that one's picked up and dropped in front of Sukhwant Sekon here at long on. Couple of singles sandwiching 3 consecutive dots. A nice comeback over for Prasad after he was beaten up in the first one by Johnson and Jariwala. He'll finish with a dot as he gets a little bit of turn out of the surface and cramps Kevin Stout for space. Just 2 from the first drink after drinks. The first over after drinks, I meant to say. 77 for 4. The 3 games in the East all done and dusted from the New York Ovals. In the South, over at Church Street Park, 1 game over with, the other one starting alongside us. Atlanta Lightning eased to their 2nd victory of the season to go 2-1 after falling to the Baltimore Royals. They eased to victory over the Fort Lauderdale Lions, who are none from 2 so far, behind Monank Patel's 69 not out off 35. First delivery from Kunj Bhagat, who continues and will bowl his final over of the piece from the Sahadeo Pavilion end. Garg backing up, giving himself a little bit of space as Kunj targets the stumps. Works that to the offside and picks up a run. Stout back on strike. Slaps that off of the pads. And a single there. Fort Lauderdale Lions got decent performances out of Raunak Sharma, 47 off 39, and Mohib Siddiqui, a run a ball 29, but nobody else over 11 for them. And really the story, oh goodness gracious, that is a lovely swivel and smack, but there is protection right there at backward square. Classy looking shot, but picks out the fielder. Before Monank Patel's 69 not out to pace that comfortable chase, it was Mark Dayal, who was returned to MILC after playing with the Blazers in 2022. He took 4 for 7 and has got 6 wickets in his first 3 matches with the Atlanta Lightning. Little bit fuller of a delivery to Kevin Stout. Looks like they want the second. That could be playing into San Diego's hands, but the throw is not a strong one to Snell Patel. Two runs there for Kevin Stout, trying to work his way closer to a 100 strike rate. So Lightning now 2-1. Lions 0-2. Morrisville Raptors and Atlanta Fire will be in action alongside us under the lights in Morrisville, North Carolina. And if last night is any indication, that Morrisville-Fort Lauderdale game under the lights, they call it Morrisville Magic for a reason. Crazy stuff happens in those games. Last night, a super over between the Lions and the Morrisville Raptors. I always take some delight in some of the team names and what it means to the attempts to search for videos of minor league cricket matches. That one pops up and batted into the ground by Stout. Sometimes you put up something like Lions versus Raptors, and I swear the search engine just wants to say, do you even know which sport you're searching for? Better than finding a bunch of NBA games when you look for Blazers and Grizzlies. Anyhow, 5 runs off the 12th, and we've got an 82 for 4 scoreline here through 12.
United Tax, empowering your financial future. Expert financial planning, reliable taxation services, building wealth, minimizing tax, serving families and businesses nationwide. Contact us for further discussions.
The other match underway alongside us here in the Western Division. East Bay Blazers and Silicon Valley Strikers, who got a start about a half hour before we did. They are approaching the end of the first innings with the Blazers at 128 for 4. As we get started here with over number 13, a ball lashed and knocked down inside the circle by the captain. Skandar Rohit Sharma leading from the front. Sabrish Prasad continues on here from the Usman Khan end. Now using the feet to access a lot of space in the onside. No one inside the circle on the onside with the exception of Fine Leg. Otherwise, 3 deep men, everybody else to the off, and Sahil Garg seeing if he can manipulate that field a little bit with some fancy footwork. Stout on strike, and it comes up into his body. Fends it off, but straight to third man. That one is stung and looks like it's going to impact our sight screen on the fly. Not sure he could have centered the sight screen any better if he tried. Kevin Stout starting to show you a little bit of what he can do when he gets the arms extended. A big six straight over Sabrish Prasad's head. Little on the full side, and he picks the length beautifully. You hear the encouragement possibly in my microphone from Sukhwant Sekon. Liked that line a lot better. Took it just a little further away, maybe just a hair shorter. That was enough to have Stout looking very uncomfortable. Final ball of the 13th. Slap straight back at Sabrish, and he makes the catch. We have seen some absolutely stellar caught and bowls this week. That's the second one from San Diego. Kaidav Sharma took a screamer yesterday as well. I'm going to need another look at this one to tell if that is the best of the bunch. I still think Elmore Hutchinson's one-hander reaching back behind him was quite something, but a low full toss, but right back at Sabrish Prasad. Catches that one just to the side of his face. Sort of what you're hoping at that point. Don't hit it right at my face. Give me at least some depth perception to deal with here as it tries to whip past the right or the left ear. Coming right into your living room, Sabrish Prasad, hands in a perfect position. And the caught and bowled ends the stand of Kevin Stout and Sahil Garg. And it's going to be on 89 for 5. Zia Muhammad Shahzad making his return in Grizzly colors, albeit now Grizzlies of San Ramon. Kevin Stout dismissed on 21 from 27 balls. Sabrish Prasad has had a solid weekend here with ball in hand. Dismissed Hezbollah Durrani LBW, taking 1 for 24 in 3 overs on Friday against East Bay. And then yesterday in the doubleheader, game 1, 2 for 12 in his 4 overs, got Abhinav Sudarshanam and Lahiru Milantha. And then in the nightcap, liked the Milantha wickets so much he did it again. Took Lahiru in both ends of the doubleheader, 1 for 15 in game 2. So far, Prasad traveled a little bit in his first over of work. Went for 11, just 2 as he returned to the attack right after the drinks break. And now he breaks through and does so just simply needing me, myself, and I as it works out. After the Kevin Stout 6. A dot and then a wicket. First delivery from the new bowler. Change of ends for Sukhwant Sekon as Kunj Bhagat has used up his spell at the Sahadeo Pavilion end. He's bowled 4 of the 6 overs so far. Took 1 wicket, went at exactly a run a ball, did Bhagat. Responsible for the breakthrough that dismissed the dangerous Canadian opener Aaron Johnson. Left arm around the wicket to Sahil Garg. Sekon must have liked the trajectory on that one, thought he was going to get a little more for his troubles. Instead, a single. 44 runs, the opening partnership. Since then, 1 run, 17 runs, a golden duck, and 27 runs. Wickets at regular intervals over number 4, 5, 2 of them in the 9th, and 1 to finish off the 13th. Run rate all the way down to 7s in a match where, mind you, through 21 balls, they had 44 on the board. It's taken 10 overs to get the next 46 and reach this 90 for 5 mark. That one shot just wide of the man at mid-off. Good work by sweeper cover. The throw coming in at the bowler's end. Not in time. They'll get back for 2. Just a real testament to the belief of the bowling unit, knowing that, okay, we're taking some tap early. These two are more aggressive than really anything we've seen this weekend right out of the gate. Recall, yesterday, San Diego played a pair of games where the run rate stayed at about a run a ball throughout the game. That one dropped into the vacant area at square leg. Thought about taking 2. Thought better of it. But even that first game against East Bay, they eventually conceded 199 runs, but they were at 50 for 4 through 7 overs. It wasn't until Abhishek Paradkar came in to partner Saideep Ganesh that all hell broke loose in that one. That one wide again of the fielder in the circle. And another single. 5 runs off of Sekon's third over. He's going at exactly a run a ball through 18 deliveries. San Ramon Grizzlies 94 for 5.
Real estate has been my life for the past 20 years.
Look, anyone can write a contract, but Alka guides you to the right decision.
Alka's enthusiasm and professionalism in the real estate field makes her tops.
Yeah, you know, we've known Alka for almost 20 years. We've done 8 transactions with her. Do we need to say anything more?
Mentioned in the last over the big partnership that San Diego conceded between Paradkar and Ganesh in their opening day game. A little bit of that going on right now. Saideep approaching another 50, 45 off 30, not out at the moment. Just 7 balls left in the innings as we have Zia Shahzad, or correction, Sahil Garg going switch hit on the first delivery from Sabarish Prasad. Nothing doing. This will be the final over for Sabarish. That one shot behind square leg. Deep protection out there. A bit of a misfield that will induce the second run. Both batters alert and the cheering coming from the pavilion all the way across the field from our broadcast position. A wide and a 2 off the first 2 from Sabarish. That one shot the other direction. Big tall bounce favors the fielder at sweeper cover. Just a single off that one. We were mentioning that partnership there. You have 45 off 31 right now for Saideep, 18 off 13 for Paradkar. They've added 31 rather, in the roughly 3 overs they've been together. 6 balls left. East Bay Blazers at 144 for 4 down in Morgan Hill against Silicon Valley. Here, that ball is going to reach the boundary rider and will go for just a single. Here in Davis, California, San Ramon creeping up on bringing up the 100. A single or a double or wide at a time. Not a ton of boundary strokes in this innings since the departure of the 2 openers. 1-4 from Sundaresan, 1-6 from Stout, a pair of 4s from Sahil Garg. Trying for the switch hit again and not making contact, just into the gloves of Snell Patel. Second time we've seen Garg go for that. Set up for it early. The hand-eye just letting him down a little bit. Back to live, and now he goes a bit more conventional, and that one's going to be potentially aquatic towards the creek that encircles that side of Arroyo Park ground. With that, Sahil Garg brings up the 100 in style on the penultimate ball of the 15th over, 105 for 5. The ball retrieved. Tossed back in by Supranj Kumar out there as the boundary rider. This time around, fetches it from a little outside off. Gets down on one knee and slog sweeps that into oblivion. Moves across his stumps, doesn't get as much of it as he'd hoped. Drags that to the man at backward square, and it'll just be a single. You hear the cry of dismay. I think he thought that one was there to be punished. But no such luck. San Ramon Grizzlies through 15 overs, 106 for 5.
From USA to India, experience journeys like never before. Book your tickets today with fantastic fare. Your ticket to cricket and beyond. Book today and celebrate with fantastic fare.
A quick look as we approach the death overs at how things currently stack up in the Western Division points table. At present, at least on points, Silicon Valley and Seattle Thunderbolts level at the top on 4 points, but a little misleading that, as the Seattle Thunderbolts have won 2 of 4 matches, whereas the Strikers have taken 2 from 2. Worth noting, however, that 2 from 2 done without a whole lot of smacking their opponents around, and so the net run rate's not all that different. Seattle with one resounding win, and all their losses have been very close. East Bay Blazers trying to avoid dipping under 500 as they look to build a total to defend against those Silicon Valley Strikers and keep them from staying undefeated this weekend. Of course, right here we've got San Ramon and San Diego, 2 teams both in search of their second victory of the season. Those Grizzlies will be facing off with the Lashings twice tomorrow. Surf Riders, meanwhile, will be on their way back down to Morgan Hill and have a game tomorrow against the Silicon Valley Strikers. It's going to be Abane Reddy back into the attack from the Sahadeo Pavilion end. AB's first over went for 10 runs and a leg by. Pair of 4s right before the drinks break. He steams in, right arm pace over the wicket. Sahil Garg continuing to use the feet, but he guides it straight into the hands of fine leg. Talk about an adjustment to an obvious plan. You'd seen Sahil Garg trying to make that space to access the onside. He'd done so to great effect the last few deliveries, but this time around there is a fielder waiting for it. Jatinder Pal Sunny Mataru. A little bit toe-ended, so he couldn't get enough of it. That is straight into the hands of Sunny. And Sahil's got to go, 25 off 24 for him. And the partnership ending at just 17 runs together. Can just about see that look on the face. As soon as he throws the shot, turns, looks, and goes, did I know you were there? Has to sit and hope. And that ball is going to find its way through Sunny Mataru, but this San Diego Surf Riders team does not tend to drop many chances. With that, 6 wickets down, Mohit Nataraj coming in for his first innings of the 2025 season. Mohit, 34 years old. He'll be 35 just before the Super 8s, and I imagine the birthday present he would like when that comes around is a plane ticket to Dallas and an opportunity to ply his trade against some of the best in the league. A legitimate death overs bomber, especially in 2022 when he was striking at 183 at the death. Last season, struck all over, 103 runs at a 178 strike rate. First ball he faces will be run to Sukhwant Sekon. Single right away for Mohit. Nattaraj, if anything, will be a little bit bummed that Sabrish Prasad's spell just ended. Last year, hammered off spinners, 37 off 14 without a dismissal. That one rolled right back to the bowler by Zia Mohammad Shahzad. Shahzad, meanwhile, as this feels like being in a little bit of a time machine after the year without Zia, and with the Grizzlies back in red. Shahzad, one of the best all-rounders in the league in 2021. In 22 and 23, off. He was out rather quickly on a rather regular basis. Wants that second run, but he'll be turned back. Pace was the big struggle for Zia the last 2 seasons he spent with the Grizzlies. A 60 strike rate against it, and out every 12 balls in 2023. Last year, went down to Atlanta as a wild card, a domestic wild card. Went at a 99 strike rate and an 11.3 average. Did hit roughly 10% of the balls he saw to the boundary. That was nearly doubled from what he'd done in 2023. He was somebody who was delighted that season to face right-arm pacers. Had his best strike rate against those at 119. Hit roughly every 7th ball to the boundary. Nattaraj, edged and gone. The recent struggles for Mohit continue somewhat. His stat line from 2024, by and large, conditioned by a couple of big outings. This time, a wonderful angle worked by Abhinay Reddy. Takes the splice, takes the edge, and Snell Patel with the caught behind. 2 in the over for AB. We see again, beautiful work done there. Snell having to dive forward and to the right to get the gloves under it, but he does so. Productive over for Reddy. 2 in it, 1 ball still remaining. Heaven knows we've seen quite a bit of three wicket overs over the course of the first weekend of MILC. It's going to be Ayan Desai in at 9. And the San Ramon collapse continues here. How brightly they started. 44 runs from the first 21 balls. We are now 12, almost 12 and a half overs later. They've only managed to add another 64. About to say, though, the big struggle for Mohit Nattaraj. Last season, he had a 32 off 13 and a 43 off 26. That in the opener and the finale against Silicon Valley Strikers. It's worth noting those are the only 2 innings he's had that have lasted longer than 10 balls in the last 2 seasons. And in his 2024 or 2025 season debut, rather, Nattaraj lasts just 2 balls, 1 off 2. 108 for 7. The Grizzlies are going to need a bit of a explosive finish here if they're going to give themselves something defensible. Desai will work that one to the onside, just square of the wicket. He'll pick up a single to get himself off the mark. He and Zia Shahzad at the crease when we come back for over number 17. San Ramon, 109 for 7. $65 off $75 for the loss of 7 wickets since the departure of Aaron Johnson way back in the 4th over. Incredible start to the affair for the Grizzlies. Ever since, it has been all San Diego Surf Riders with ball in hand. It'll be Supranch Kumar to bowl his final over of the piece from the Usman Khan end. He started the match from the other side, gave up 12 runs in the opening over. Flirting with the edge of Ayan Desai, trying to retire his opposing young promising pacer. A dot ball to start. But Supranch traveled in that first over, gave up a 6 and 12 runs in total. Since they started using him at the Usman Khan end, 5 singles in his second over of work, 3 singles and 2 wickets, and was briefly on a hat trick in his second over, and so far a dot to finish his 4th. That one shot straight back over the head of the non-striker Zia Shahzad. Sekon up with it in the outfield. Single taken. Desai with 27 runs off 58 deliveries in his MILC career, headed into this opening weekend. A high of 9. Scored 11 off 25, dismissed 3 times last season. So far this year, a 2-ball duck on Saturday following a 2 not out off 1 in Friday's game. He's got 2 now, off of 3 as Zia Shahzad on strike in his maiden innings of 2025. Zia steps a little bit across the stumps but cannot make contact. We've seen it so far here. Aaron Johnson, absolutely capable of doing a lot at the top for this team, but no one else has quite been firing yet for the Grizzlies, and as soon as he was gone, the whole tenor of the innings changed. Kunj Bhagat, the one who got the ball rolling there, setting an offside trap for the Canadian. First time Johnson's been out under 50 runs in his MILC career. That one struck solidly, but again picks out the fielder. The fielding placements and, by and large, the work inside the circle has been up to that San Diego Surf Rider standard that you expect. They haven't always had the biggest bats. They've sometimes had bowlers that will travel, but they've always given everything they've got in the field. They might be the most fun team in this Western Division to watch when they really are flying about. Final ball of the 17th over on a Nelson for 7. Edged, gone. The Nelson strikes and Ayan Desai is done with 2 off 5. Supranch Kumar has his 3rd on the final ball of his spell. And all things in order for the San Diego Surf Riders here. The Nelson does what the Nelson does, and you see the deflection off the outer edge from Desai. No problem there for Snell. And the story just gets rougher for the San Ramon Grizzlies. It was 65 for 7 off 75. Make that 68 for 8 off 81. Brutal stuff. 111 for 8. 3 overs to go.
United Tax, empowering your financial future. Expert financial planning, reliable taxation services, building wealth, minimizing tax, serving families and businesses nationwide. Contact us for further discussions.
In at 10, it will be Vatsal Vagela. Although given what we have seen out of Taj Wali, the 11, I have to potentially question this decision a little bit. Now, admittedly, he had a lot of freedom when he came in on Saturday, but he faced 2 deliveries and hit a 4 and a 6. And arguably, given how tight that game with the Blazers was, those 2 shots won the game for the Grizzlies, albeit they happened at the end of the first innings. Grizzlies have batted first now in all 3 matches. Abane Reddy into the attack. This one lifted in the air. Takes a hop in front of mid-wicket. Vatsal Vagela off the mark with a single. Lefty-righty combination now has the field moving between batters as Zia Shazad comes up. As we said, Zia Shazad most comfortable last season with Atlanta Fire against righty Pacers. So with the strike fed to him by Vatsal Vagela off the first ball. Nope, correction, sorry, I have that backwards. Zia's off strike. He was the one with the single. Vagela now on strike. I should know better. Of course Vagela didn't face the first delivery. Wicket was on the last delivery of an over. Vagela will give the strike back to Zia Shazad, though, as he runs that down to third. Third over for Abane Reddy Vanapalli. It's gone at just over a run a ball, 15 from 14 deliveries, and of course took 2 big wickets in his second over of work, dismissing Sahil Garg and the always dangerous Mohit Nataraj. Garg, the set batsman, and Nataraj, the potential finisher. Zia Shazad leans back on that one, tries to find the gap, and does. That'll make it to the rope for a 4. Water in the desert, that boundary. First one since the 6 on the penultimate delivery, bowled by Sabrish Prasad. That coming 16 balls ago. First innings are over in the other 2 games going on alongside us. East Bay Blazers finish 159 for 5. That one lifted towards the embankment and a 6 from Zia Shazad. There's what we've seen against righty pace from the 29-year-old Pakistani. He'll have a role to play later today with his leg spin, but that's a sight that throws you back to 2021 when the then Golden State Grizzlies ruled the roost here in the West. That season, the only team that could do anything about them was the Silicon Valley Strikers. They did so 3 times, twice in the regular season and once in the Pacific Conference title game, en route to Silicon Valley winning the inaugural MILC title, but that 13-3 team, it's just never quite been the same since. 7-7 the year after, 4-6 in 2023, and just snuck into the playoffs on head-to-head with the Lashings and Thunderbolts. Lost to the Strikers again, who they are a lifetime 0-11 against. Last year, 2-6, but 2-1 against the SoCal teams. Trying to see if they can pick up a victory here, this game and their next two, all against Southern California. That one out to the boundary rope. Zia Shahzad was thinking about a second and trying to keep the strike, but he'll give it to his captain, Vatsal Vagela. Vagela was the captain last year. It's now Rahul Jariwala, my mistake. It will be Vagela to face the final ball of this 18th over. And we'll see if Abhinay Reddy bowls the 20th from this Sahadeo Pavilion end. The other game in the South, first innings over quickly. If there's going to be Morrisville magic, it's going to be something to behold. Morrisville 81 all out. Vagela leaves the bat dangling out there, but does not feather it to Snell Patel. Into the gloves without a touch. Reddy takes a little bit of tap in his third over of work, 13 off it to double his tally, a 4 and a 6 off the bat of Zia Shahzad. San Ramon 124 for 8, 2 overs to go.
Real estate has been my life for the past 20 years.
Look, anyone can write a contract, but Alka guides you to the right decision.
Alka's enthusiasm and professionalism in the real estate field makes her tops.
Yeah, we've known Alka for almost 20 years. We've done 8 transactions with her. Do we need to say anything more?
Down at Church Street Park, the Patels were at it again. Sonny takes 4 for 10. Ansh takes 3 for 14 as they limited the Morrisville Raptors to 81 all out. High score, Mihir Patel's 17 off 13. Nobody else cleared 11 on the day. So Atlanta Fire, it would seem, with a pretty straightforward chase to pick up their second win of the season. A little more complicated between the Silicon Valley Strikers and the East Bay Blazers, where the target has been set at 160 for the Strikers to stay undefeated at 3-0. 60 off 36 for Saideep Ganesh in that one, and 25 and 21 from Angelo Pereira and Sanjay. First delivery of the 19th over out of the hand of Sukhwan Sekon. They're pushing for a second. The bat is dragged, but the finger is up. And it's hardly a San Diego Surf Riders game without one of those. The throw coming in from the deep. I believe Kunj Bhagat, the one taking the plaudits, gets it close enough for Snell Patel to catch it and whip the bails off, and that is all for Zia Shahzad. The strong, slinky left arm of Kunj Bhagat. Tough to tell from our angle whether we have anything to say about that umpiring decision. The bat was grounded. That doesn't mean it was in its ground, just that it was on the ground. This a better angle, and that's pretty close. But absolutely no indecision from our square leg umpire. And so on the first delivery of Sukhwan Sekon's over, we'll take another look. Ooh, boy. Not sure I'd like that if I was a San Ramon Grizzly. So in at 11, Taj Wali. And he will face the next delivery. We're going to get one more look. Can we speed? There we go. That's what we're talking about, Vishal. Let's see. Boop. Oof, that is a photo finish. Joe Hickey Review System says, umpire's call. Way too close to call. At any rate, 1 and a wicket off that delivery on the run out. That means Taj Wali on strike to face this delivery. He lifts this, and it's going to take a little bit of getting for the man at the boundary rope. But it is indeed got. Wali down to the other end with a single, as we mentioned beforehand. 1 not out off 1 on Friday and 10 off 2 on Saturday with a pair of big runs. His main job is going to be to bowl some blazing lefty pace in roughly 20 minutes. But for now, he and Vagella trying to add to the total. Vagella shoots that through the gap on the offside. Easy single there, and we'll see what Taj has on this upcoming delivery. Seattle Thunderbolts earlier today, the highest score produced on this ground this weekend, 149. Yesterday, all the scores were right around here. Odds are we're looking at a pretty competitive total. How high can they drive it? That is in the air. Coming under it is the fielder with no number on his back. He will secure it. And that will be the end of the road for the San Ramon Grizzlies here halfway through over number 19. They are 127 all out. You get a look here as Sakon digs that one into the ground, popped up a little bit on Wally. May have thrown the shot a touch early and a ton of air under it as he took the top edge. So it'll be 1 off 2 for him. The catch easy as you like. That claimed by Vijaya Ramnandula, the sub-fielder out here at long off. And that ends the innings again, 127 all out. We will take a look at the carnage, the batting card here for the San Ramon Grizzlies. Again, very tasty up top. We got 4 scores in the 20s, but not a single one of them going past 25. Sahil Garg stitched things together a bit in the middle with his 25 off 24. Stout a little on the slow side, but that's unsurprising for him in the middle overs. Tends to be a bit more circumspect. Looks to blow up later and got into this one perhaps a bit earlier than he might have expected. Admittedly, unlucky to be dismissed the way he was. An absolute missile off the bowling of Sabrish Prasad that the 17-year-old spinner managed to hold on to. The big damage up top done by the openers Aaron Johnson and Rahul Jariwala, but when they were dismissed, that really did result in an absolute cascade. We see the fall of wickets here and just at regular intervals. 44, 45, 62, 62, 89, 106, 108, 111, 125, 127. Biggest partnership that we saw after the opening one was 27 for that 5th wicket. And everybody got in on the act. Sabrish Prasad with 1, Supranj Kumar 3 for him, including briefly being on a hat trick. He goes less than a run a ball for the first time this season. Sukhwant Sekon 2 for 21. Nearly bowled the full complement, but cut the innings short. And a far cry from what we saw, by the way, the opening game of yesterday's doubleheader. The San Diego Surf Riders used 9 bowlers. Skandar Rohit Sharma and Snell Patel, the wicketkeeper, were the only ones that didn't roll the arm over. Today, legitimately, if Abhinay Reddy had bowled the final over, they would have used 5 bowlers, 4 overs each, the absolute minimum possible. And they didn't even get around to doing the 20th over as they take care of business here. You'll notice the number of wickets there add up to 9. The other one, the requisite San Diego Surf Riders run out as Kunj Bhagat had the big throw to dismiss Zia Shahzad. That's where things stand. It'll take 128 runs for the San Diego Surf Riders to even up their record after splitting the doubleheader yesterday against Seattle. They can get themselves to 2 wins and join the Silicon Valley Strikers at 4 points. For that matter, also join the Seattle Thunderbolts at 4 points in the standings. But they'll need 128 runs to do it. If they can't, Golden State Grizzlies will take all of those plaudits as they get ready for a doubleheader tomorrow. Which way is it going to break? Well, we've got, I think, a really good-looking run chase ahead of us starting in about 15 minutes. We'll see you then.
काम कर इसमें डाल दो इसका एक होल था ना ये होल इसमें डाल दो दिखा दो अभी क्या होता है क्या वो बहुत फास्ट है आई डोंट नो थोड़ा आगे ले लो हाँ ठीक है लिमिट फ्रंट Stay tight. Oh, holy cow! Jesus Christ. Oh, well done. You got three. Eight down. That's it. Oh! Go, watch it, watch it. I think you guys should go. You guys are right behind us. You're done, man. was not meant for the banner at all.
This is for the tent, right?
Yeah, नहीं in case अभी चल रहा है बस कल तो आपको बताऊं मैं after second inning 7th over I was completely exhausted. I know you showed me the old boss. So then I asked Ganesh where to help and I was sitting on both said when I usually get more data how do you feel? Yeah, keep watching your happy? You have to remember all the good to see you. I saw you twice today. Yeah, daily. Fourth time I saw you with somebody. We'll take it out for tomorrow. But an angle from that way. You have to make it a little cross. Get a third umpire. That's okay. The other one is putting it on. Good health. I think I've lost some weight. Right, the fabric gets all messed up. I know. Because of the master. Yeah, you think so? Oh, good. No, can you cut one time I met him and let's cut. He was bowling. In fact, he was bowling over 50. Umpire said, don't cut this. You get more. He said, I'm fine. Snap it out and just roll it and put it in the... Thought that you can play over top of your These two are meant for it, right? So it works fine. The problem is these two are not meant for it. This one and that one are not meant for it. This is working fine. This one and that one, both of them, they are meant for it.
But Arun, it looks good because anyways we don't have 10, right?
Yeah, so tomorrow we'll put it in the...
This will be a better view.
But this one, that's not
लेकिन नया मैंने 3 बार फोन करेंगे तो that's good. So you guys are busy. Do this. Yeah. Finish.
अभी निकाल के दिखाना मुश्किल है. Tomorrow we'll do it. Tomorrow we'll do it. Leave that now. They're still coming, Samit. They're still coming in the coverage. We'll go back to our room.
Exactly. और घर जाना क्या मेरे को भाई? Exactly. Pouch में सोना पड़ेगा. Lifelong laundry.
But here, this is okay. These are all signed pretty well. Yeah. when the pole pocket is like this, all these are looking okay. This one, pole pocket was messed up. They didn't do it properly.
Yeah, I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah, you have done the best you can do. I even, it's my fault, I should have told them to do a vertical pole pocket. I just told them to make a 2-inch pole pocket, but they should have also used common sense. So putting it on the ground. And I also didn't tell them, so this is, but see, that's standing well, that's standing well. These poles are standing well. It's only the two Fury and the other two were not meant for.
They're just too long.
Welcome back, folks, to coverage of 2025 minor league cricket on the MLC Network. We're coming to you live from Arroyo Park in Davis, California. The final act of our second doubleheader out of 3. The run chase coming up, the target set by the San Ramon Grizzlies at 128 runs. Very similar to the totals we saw yesterday. Seattle set 125. San Diego set 133. It'll be the Surf Riders chasing for just the second time this season. They are 0-1 when doing so, having failed to get across the line yesterday. And they will start off with the Abbeys at the center, Abane Reddy Vanepali and Abhayender Singh. It'll be Taj Wali, the big lefty, late addition to this Golden State, God, I did it again, this San Ramon roster. I've been actually pretty good about that. I'm going to give myself credit for that at the very least. But according to Hari Venkatramani, who's had a front row seat to his first 2 matches in MILC, it's been pacey and wily and doing a phenomenal job of setting up an angle. Bowling a lot, left arm round the wicket. We'll see what he's got in store for the San Diego batters here as we get the power play underway. Of course, we'll also be following the 2 other matches, working their way towards conclusions. Although I think I said before we got off the air before that after bowling out Morrisville for 81 runs, Atlanta would be coasting to a victory. I think what I meant was they would light the solid rocket boosters and get there in about 8.5 minutes. First delivery from Wally is a leg side wide and a freebie run as he steams in from the Sahadeo Pavilion end. Won't be able to afford too many of those free runs with just 127 to play with. Wally in his first 2 innings with the San Ramon Grizzlies took 2 for 17, dismissing Amok Adapalli and Nawaz Khan in the match with Silicon Valley Strikers, and then got Dorani, Sanjay Krishnamurthy, and Suleiman Arabzai en route to 3 for 31 in the win over the East Bay the loss to the East Bay Blazers. So win over the East Bay Blazers. I was right the first time. First runs off the bat here, as Abane Reddy runs that one back behind square leg. They get back for a pair. 3 on the board. Yeah, Atlanta Fire may finish that run chase before the end of the power play. They are at 69 for no loss through 4.1 overs. And Stephen Taylor has set an MILC record this evening. Abene, puts that one back behind square again, this time just a single run. Stephen Taylor had what has got to be the fastest half century in minor league cricket history. He got there in 12 balls, 2 4s, 7 6s out of the first 2 overs. He faced every ball of it. And I'm telling you right now, Ritvik Appidi's career economy in MILC might take years to recover. He gave up 30 in the second over, including 2 wides. Rajnanan, though, a more experienced campaigner and MLC draftee, he went for 23 in the first over. Wally right now gets that one to hit Abhi Singh. A lot of in-swing on that one, but height definitely the concern there. I can see from here that hit Abhi way too high up on the thigh pad, especially at that pace to have had any likelihood of impacting a stump. And I think we can see that there on the replay as well. Swinging again into the pads, and Abhi Singh fights that one off. Much like the last couple of matches we've seen, we mentioned beforehand that generally speaking here in the West, it has been a defending team's delight. 6 of the 8 matches so far this weekend have been won by the team batting first. Work to be done by the bowling side here as Abhi Singh runs another ball to the area back behind square. He's underway with his first run, 1 ball left in the over as the wide that started it does need to be rebowled. Whole lot of bowling options in this roster for Rahul Jariwala, the man with the gloves, to choose from. He does have a slip in place in Aaron Johnson. The opening batters continuing to not separate from one another too far. Another big bit of swing, that one likely going down leg as it impacts the pads of Abhinay Reddy. Goes down as a dot to finish, so Taj Wali 5 off the first, 5 for no loss, through 1 for San Diego Surf Riders. It'll be Ayan Desai charging in for the first over from the Usman Khan end. A former SoCal guy. He has, in fact, bowled for all 3 of the Southern California teams. And you might be asking me when you hear that, wait, what do you mean all 3? Well, there used to be a club, boys and girls, called the Hollywood Master Blasters. And they found a way, as it worked out, to kind of waste a very promising young talent because he got absolutely hammered in his 1 year in Hollywood, was picked up the year after by the lashings and burst onto the scene. There's that swing. The ball does pop up off the bat, but it's a bump ball. Claimed by Jariwala behind the stumps. He's still got the slip with him. Dot ball to begin here for Ayan Desai. Ion 3 wickets so far on the season for a combined 54 runs. He's taken big names early in the innings. Friday it was Shiva Mishra, had him bowled. Yesterday, Sujit Gowda and Saideep Ganesh. Good work to adjust to the swing and swivel with the pull shot. Beats the man on the infield, and that is going to be the first boundary for the San Diego Surf Riders off the bat of Abhinder Singh. By the by, looking elsewhere in minor league cricket, I thought to posit that perhaps Atlanta would get their chase done before the end of the power play. Indeed they do. 1 ball shy of the end of the fielding restrictions. 83 for no loss. They win by 10 wickets. Desai looking for the raised finger of the umpire, and he's got it. And I am wishing that I'd made the prognostication that I thought about making earlier. Ion Desai, in the 2023 season in particular, had a habit of taking a wicket on his 3rd ball. He did it to Lahiru Milanta, he did it to Saideep Ganesh, and he's done it here to Abhinder Singh, the ball after he took him to the mid-wicket boundary. Here's the in-swing, it gets the pad, and the umpire loves it. No hesitation there. And Abhi Singh gone LBW for 5 runs off 6. San Diego now 9 for 1. If they do manage to challenge in this match, it's going to be an innings with a slightly different contour to the one we just watched from the San Ramon Grizzlies. If you did not get here in time for the first innings, there were 2 distinct phases to that innings. There was the first 3.5 overs when the Grizzlies were going at 2 runs a ball. They were at 44 for no loss. And then there was the rest of the innings. And that was where they bled wickets for the entire rest of the encounter. And eventually, after 15 further overs, had put on just 83 more runs for the loss of all 10 wickets. San Diego off to a bit more of a studied start than we saw from the San Ramon Grizzlies. They're presently going at a run a ball through 9 deliveries, and they have lost their first. Snell Patel, the wicketkeeper, in at 3. He guides one to the right side. This a little bit of a mix-up of the order we've been seeing. Admittedly, Skanda Rohit Sharma early on was your opener, and Shehan Fernando was the one to come in at 3. Patel, a bit of a promotion. Abhi Singh, certainly a promotion. And Skanda sliding himself a little further down the order. A single on the first ball to Snell. 31-year-old wicketkeeper opener in at 3 today from Rajkot. Another one that Desai skips as he comes through and likes the look of. A little bit of lumber getting to that one before it reached the pad. Abhinay Reddy, rather, able to survive that ball. Reddy last season, 192 runs at a 151 strike rate. Had never had a strike rate higher than 130 before that. Averaged 27 after having had a high score prior to last season of 30. And he went for 60, 12, 12, 46, and 52 in his last 5 matches. Saturday picked up with a little bit of that, 39 off 30 in the first match, but he's been a little underwhelming in the other 2. 10 off 14 on Friday, 4 off 3 in the nightcap yesterday. That one's right back at Desai on a hop. Another dot delivery to finish. So the 1 boundary and the immediate comeback. You offend Ion Desai by hitting a boundary off him at your own peril. He takes the wicket of Abhi Singh. San Diego 10 for 1. It'll be Tajwali continuing from the Sahadeo Pavilion end. As we look down the road, Silicon Valley Strikers nearly bring up the 50 at the end of the power play, chasing 160 against the East Bay Blazers. They are 3 wickets down, though. Wally blows up the stumps on the first ball of over number 3. And it is a short stay for Snell Patel. He has gone for 1 off 2. San Ramon Grizzlies rampant. That one just getting in through the gate. Wally creating that angle, but more than anything, getting that in swing that has been absolutely bamboozling batters. Both he and Desai getting the ball to move on a day where the temperatures are hitting triple digits. But Tajwali, late acquisition, looking like an absolute weapon right now for the San Ramon Grizzlies. And they are 2 down inside, barely over 2 overs. That'll bring in the captain, Skanda Rohit Sharma. A little bit of a mountain potentially to climb here. These 2 games now in the West, this one and East Bay Silicon Valley, the only remaining ones this afternoon here in 2025 minor league cricket. South Division is done for the weekend. Tomorrow, there will be 3 games in the East, a rematch between the 2 New Jersey sides, as well as NYC Titans Philadelphians and New England Eagles Manhattan Yorkers. 4 games planned if the weather holds together in Texas, chief among them Chicago Kingsmen and Metroplex Tracers. That a battle between the defending champions and the lone undefeated team in the division now, the Tracers. Also got Chicago Tigers, Lone Star Athletics, St. Louis Americans, Dallas Exploria Giants, and Michigan Cricket Stars Kings 11 Dallas.
Okay, guys, please don't get up, don't move, okay? It's bothering the batter. Otherwise, please move that side.
Here in the West, Silicon Valley will host these San Diego Surf Riders back down in Morgan Hill at the Silicon Valley Strikers Cricket Ground. Here in Davis, these Grizzlies will stay put, and they will face the LA Lashings for a pair. First delivery to be faced by the captain, and nearly cut in half by that ball from Tajwali. Continuing to show what he is made of. So we see Skanda trying to get the bat down to dampen it, unable to make contact. Lucky that the line didn't guide it, or for that matter, that the swing didn't guide it back onto his woodwork. Just watched the Rajkot native coming off of a 48 off 44 yesterday, head to the shed with 1 off 2. Skanda with 28 off 28 and 19 off 28 on either side of a 2 off 9 in the early game yesterday. Here comes Wally. Cramped for space, but he manages to find a gap behind point. Skanda underway. Can't even tell you how happy it makes me to be back out here doing this, following all the games from around the country. It's the one thing you don't get from MLC. You take one game at a time in that league, everybody gets their attention squarely on them. Here, you're hearing about stories all day. That one defended by A.B. Reddy. Another dot ball. Even when you're about to declare something like there will be no Morrisville Magic tonight, Stephen Taylor turns around and blasts an MILC record to shreds. For those wondering, in official, and by that I mean the ones that show up on ESPN Cricinfo leagues, only 2 50s ever faster than the one that Stephen Taylor had tonight. two sounds there, as for sure Abanereddy made contact with it before it thundered into his pad. Those two quicker 50s belonging to Ashutosh Sharma in a match between Railways and Arunachal Pradesh. A 50 in 11 deliveries. And the fastest one ever recorded, Dipendra Singh Aidi of Nepal against Mongolia, getting 50 off 9. The things you look up when crazy stuff happens in Northern California. Sometimes it's finding out that an Estonian holds the record for the most sixes in an innings. Sometimes it's that. 3 dots on the bump from Tajwali after taking the early wicket on the first ball of the over. He takes care of Snell Patel before he can do any damage, and San Diego are 11 for 2 through 3.
From USA to India, experience journeys like never before. Book your tickets today with Fantastic Fare, your ticket to cricket and beyond. Book today and celebrate with Fantastic Fare.
Like their Southern California brethren, the LA Lashings, San Diego Surf Riders are going to be looking now for that partnership that can steady their innings. They certainly haven't been hit as hard early as the Lashings were today by the Seattle Thunderbolts, but likely feeling a little bit off balance here as the asking rate begins to approach 7s. Fifth dot out of 7 deliveries from Ayan Desai, who took the wicket of Abhinder Singh in his first over, LBW. Abhi responsible for 5 of the runs on the board right now for the Surf Riders, the 11 that currently stand there. Nice work, despite the pacey offerings from the young lefty. Skanda with a career that's taken him to the SoCal, then SoCal Lashings. Early in his time in MILC, also played a year with the East Bay Blazers. That one just past the outside edge. Desai and Skanda both currently that whistle, that sort of ooh meme right now in terms of facial expression. You know the one I'm talking about. Ayan thought he had his man. Skanda most likely just out of respect for the shape on that ball from Desai. Here he comes again. A little shorter, comes up into the midsection, fended off, and it's 4 dots to start the over. Desai gave up a 4 off the first, or rather the second ball he bowled to Abhinder Singh. Since then, 1 run off the remaining 8 balls, and the very next one after the 4 was the end of Abhinder. Another one targeting the stumps. The bat brought down just in time. This is what we've seen from Ayan Desai over the last handful of years. Taken by the Seattle Orcas in 2024 after bursting onto the scene with the Lashings in 23 as a power play weapon. Talk about a list of victims, too. His 5 wickets in MLC. Devin Conway, Marcus Stoinis, Shafane Rutherford, Hassan Khan, and Finn Allen. Looking to add Skanda to it. Did it get any tip? It did not. A lot of excitement, but the umpire makes that safe gesture, and Skanda will live to fight another day. So it's not a wicket maiden, but it's a maiden fourth over nonetheless, and we'll get a look here to see if there's anything to suggest that the umpire got it wrong. Tough to tell. Certainly Skanda's first motion was to be like, everything's fine, I didn't touch it. That didn't stop a vociferous appeal from Jariwala and Desai at either end of the pitch. Either way, nothing from over number 4, 11 for 2. Four overs gone of the run chase, and a required run rate that started just barely north of 6, now up to 7.31. As not for the first time, we see a team chasing getting a little stuck in the mud. Turns out scores in that 120, 130, 140 region certainly count in this division as quote-unquote runs on the board. Abene Reddy trying to break out of that. He goes straight back over the head of the new bowler, Harish Kakani. And he has launched that one towards Sahadeo Pavilion for a 6. First maximum of the innings. And the sort of pressure release San Diego have been aching for about 2.5 overs. Too full on that first delivery of his spell for Harish Kakani. Kakani took the wicket of Gary Graham on Friday, but was very expensive. 37 off his 3 overs, as that one is batted into the ground for a dot. Better on Saturday, 2 for 12 in 2 overs. Took the wickets of Angelo Pereira and Abhishek Paradkar. And I'll tell you, 4 days ago, if you told me he took the wicket of Abhishek Paradkar, I'd have said, oh, okay, so he helped clean up the tail. Paradkar is turning into an absolute weapon with bat in hand right now for the Blazers. So that's a premium one now. That one takes an inside edge and just does miss the stumps. Reddy will thank his lucky stars he's still out there and move to the other side. 7 for him off the first 3 balls of the over. Kakani back in the red and gold of the Grizzlies after a year at the Dallas Exploria Giants. 10 wickets at 26.8 per at an economy just under 8 last season. He did have roughly 1 ball and over hit to the boundary, 17.7% of them. That one just stays inside the tram line, trying to take it out wide and get out of the arc of Skanda. A good spot for him to be coming in with 2 right-handers at the crease, though. Pretty decent-sized split for him in terms of economy against those, 7.02 against righties. Just a shade under 10 against lefties. More dangerous, too. Strikes roughly once every 3 overs against right-handers, once every 5 against lefties. That one moved back behind square by Skanda Rohit Sharma, and I know you shouldn't delight in someone's stress or anything, but Harish Kakani might be among the most effusive players out there, and you never are at a lack for wondering what's on his mind. I'm already being reminded of that. I remember an over here between the Grizzlies and the Strikers back in 23 where he had 3 LBW shouts in the span of an over, and by the 3rd one, thought he was on the verge of a breakdown. Wanted to go out and give him a hug. little bit of pace off. AB not able to follow it. The bounce gets by him, so a great comeback for Kakani from that 6 off the first ball from AB Reddy. After that, just 2 off the remaining 5, 8 from the over. San Diego 19 for 2. And in the final over of the power play, your first introduction of spin into the attack. It will be Vatsal Vagela, the erstwhile Grizzlies captain, now called into attention, or into the fray rather, by his new skipper, Rahul Jariwala. Vagela, for a lot of people, probably the first person they think of when they hear the word Grizzlies, if they're a cricket fan in this country. 23-year-old from Milpitas, going around the wicket for his first offering to Skanda Rohit Sharma. First ball well navigated. Despite that 23-year-old age, already considered a senior cricketer in this setup. Goes full on that next delivery. Inside outed to Akash Sundaresan in the covers. Another dot ball. That one is over the top of the non-striker, A.B. Singh, and just past a diving Harish Kakani. A 4 there for Skanda Rohit Sharma, first boundary of his innings. That one perhaps just a little on the full side. Not enough turn on offer at that point. That, by the way, breaks a string of 10 consecutive dot balls from this end of the ground. The last 8 from Ayan Desai, the 2 following a single that followed his wicket, and then the maiden over after that, and then the first 2 of Vagela. Skanda rocks back on a short ball but can't punish it. Picks out mid-wicket. Seven wickets last year for Vagela at 20 runs per, but an economy approaching 9s, a little unusual for him. And he's traveling a bit right now. That one is fetched and destroyed into the embankment. Just to the side of a group of spectators gathered under one of the trees looking for respite from the Davis, California sun. A 4 and a 6 for the young captain of the San Diego Surf Riders. And again, this one has its length pulled back just a little bit. Just brilliantly done by Skanda Rohit Sharma. Not an awful delivery. Good batting, beating good bowling. Ball smacked into the offside. That one claimed by a fielder, so it's 4 dots, but a pair of boundary shots, one of them first maximum for Skanda Rohit Sharma. He's got 12 now off his 16. Power play done and dusted. San Diego 29 for 2. They need 7s from here to claim victory today. And the spin will continue as Akash Sundaresan will bowl his off spin from the Sahadeo Pavilion end. Grizzlies started with 4 overs of double-barrel lefty pace, Desai and Wali. They give 1 to Kakani inside the power play. And then 1 to Vagela to finish. Mixed results on the Vagela one. A lot of dots, but when Skanda made good contact, it was really good contact. A little flattened out, and the off spin carries that into the body of Skanda Rohit Sharma. They will take a run, waiting to see if that is going to be given as a, it's going to be given as a wide, and so 2 wides. As that leapt up, the off spin carried it behind the young Surf Rider captain. That one's carried into the body, it's in the air, could be a chance, and is squeezed. Abhinay Reddy out on a long drive to mid-wicket. And that is a 3rd wicket down. They managed to avoid losing it inside the power play, but it happens 2 balls later. And Akash Sundaresan has got a wicket right here early in the piece. We see there just not quite enough juice on this one. Good work by the man out there. That is Mohit Nataraj settling under that catch and dismissing Abhinay Reddy for 11 off 14. If we wish to do a comparison at this juncture, and we do, San Ramon Grizzlies at this point were 55 for 2. But don't let that fool you. They were about to go through a lengthy fallow period. A lot of singles against Supranj Kumar, followed by just 3 coming off Kunj Bhagat. And then the fateful over where Supranj took his 2 wickets. So those worms likely to get a smidge closer in the near future. Shehan Fernando out into the center now. After Akash Sundaresan takes that wicket. That one guided back past the keeper, and it's going to be a long run on a very quick turf field. Kevin Stout not able to beat the ball to the boundary, and that'll be a 4 on the first delivery faced by the Sri Lankan Shehan Fernando. For Akash, by the way, his 3rd wicket of the weekend and 3rd ever in MILC. He took 2 for 22 runs in the match against the Silicon Valley Strikers. Responsible for a couple of big fish, Shehan Jayasurya And Pranay Suri, who he got to come forward, stumped. Comeback ball to Shehan Fernando, guided behind square. Single there. Oh, and my mistake there, the ball to Shehan Fernando earlier was 5 wides, not a 4 off the bat. Hence the 1 off 1 for him. And over in chiaroscuro so far for Sundaresan, 10 runs conceded off of it. But the wicket taken of the remaining opener. That one worked and flagged down by a dive on the infield. It's Aaron Johnson parked over there at mid-off. Nice hard work. Last ball of the over from Akash. That one's going to take a hop back behind the batter. It's certainly going to be at least 2 runs here. It is stopped short of the boundary. The big question is going to be, are those byes or wides? And the answer is byes. So it will still be the final ball of the over. Somewhat costly one, particularly in the extras column. 7 from Sundaresan on the wides, 2 byes, just 3 off the bat, and the wicket of A.B. Reddy. 41 for 3.
United Tax, empowering your financial future. Expert financial planning, reliable taxation services, building wealth, minimizing tax, serving families and businesses nationwide. Contact us for further discussions.
Ayan Desai will return to the attack from the Usman Khan end. He gave way to Vatsal Vagela for the final over of the power play. But right back in, just 5 runs conceded. 4 of those coming on the second delivery. And since then, a wicket and 1 run conceded off the remaining 10 balls he's bowled. He has been as advertised. His first year with LA Lashings took 14 wickets at 15 per. His economy was under a run a ball and 5.73, but the thing that defined the Lashings that year was how good their economy was in the power play. He went at 4.24, and he was the more expensive of the 2 that usually opened the bowling. Sanchit Sandhu was under 4. That one guided to the man at fine leg, Aaron Johnson. Make it 9 consecutive dots for Desai since the single that followed his wicket.
Long way to go, long way to go.
Desai, though, was the cutting edge in those power plays and an absolute menace against right-handed batters. Took 12 of his 14 wickets against righties, despite the fact that it was only 70% of the deliveries. That one is going to end up between the deep third man and backward point inside the circle. Pair of runs taken by the captain as he tries to work himself and his team up towards that run-a-ball mark, which if they can maintain that for the entire innings, really it just takes a couple boundaries here and there, and you ought to get over the line. That breaks the dot streak for Desai, 9 of them in a row. Left arm over the wicket, trying to create the angle across, but lets it drift a bit too wide to Skanda. Freebies, certainly something that the Surf Riders can ill afford at this point. Or I should say the Grizzlies, rather, can ill afford at this point. Surf Riders, they'll eat it up. They love it. This ball worked to an acre of space on the onside, but quick work off the boundary rope there. It's the number 65, Manav Nayak, into the side right now as the 12th man. He comes screaming in and somehow holds that to just a single. So far this season, Golden State did it again. San Ramon Grizzlies, very good at avoiding giving away those freebies. Just 3 wides conceded against the East Bay Blazers, just 2 in their matchup with the Silicon Valley Strikers, where they took it down to the final ball before losing there by 3 wickets. So far today, it's been 4 balls that have been wide, but the ones from Sundaresan in particular, very costly. 5 wides and 3 wides, or 2 rather. Run off the outside of the bat there by Shahan Fernando. He picks up a run. And there will be 1 more ball here after the wide. Good news for those here witnessing the cricket is as we approach 6 o'clock, the temperature coming down. It's only just 100 degrees now, not 103, as that one ends up on the leg side and will be given as a wide. Bit of a tight decision there as Desai buzzed the tower, but he'll have to bowl 1 more in this over. Quick check, by the way, on Blazers strikers. Strikers need 8.8 runs per over in the final 8.5 to get home. Chasing 160, so keeping things under control. They are 4 wickets down at this point. Have Cameron Hattrick and Ramon trying to build a partnership over there in Morgan Hill. Here, San Diego Surf Riders add another run off the bat there. 7 off the Desai over, 2 of them gifts. San Diego 48 for 3 through 8.
Real estate has been my life for the past 20 years.
Look, anyone can write a contract, but Alka guides you to the right decision.
Alka's enthusiasm and professionalism in the real estate field makes her tops.
Yeah, you know, we've known Alka for almost 20 years. We've done 8 transactions with her. Do we need to say anything more?
Change of ends for Vatsal Vagela. His first over from the Usman Khan end went for 10. He'll bowl this next one from the Sahadeo Pavilion end. And he'll face off with Skandar Rohit Sharma to start with. Swept along the ground and a single on easy offer with the, again, lack of any protection on the inner circle on the onside. They continue with that for Shahan Fernando. Only man to look out for is fine leg Aaron Johnson. Everybody else pushed back to the rope. So understandably, Vatsal Vagela going a little bit on the wide side with his delivery. Don't want to allow someone to either drop it into that vacant area and pick up 2s or lash one and pick out that gap. Looking to hurry up Shehan Fernando, but he makes a little bit of space, pushes it to the offside. They'll take just the one. Again, the defense out there, Sterling. Sahil Garg coming in from the rope, converging with the subfielder Manav Nayak. 50 up for the San Diego Surf Riders on that ball. They are going just a hair under a run of ball at the moment. 50 scored off 51 deliveries. They had reached a run of ball, in fact, on the final delivery of the 8th over. A single here, again worked to the offside. Three on the inner circle on the offside. That one, though, strays down leg, and Shehan Fernando has launched it in the vague direction of a playground. Whoa! That is what you can't afford to do. Or if you're going to try to bowl that line, you need that thing to be basically right at the base of his feet. Give him any ability to get under it, and it is going to travel. While we wait for that ball to be fetched, a 5th wicket down in Morgan Hill with 8 overs to go. Silicon Valley now 87 for 5. Kamran Hotak has departed with 21 off 23. Pranay Suri made it to a run of ball 20. Amok Adepalli 19 off 7. Very quick in the beginning, but it's now Ramon Reefer and Gary Graham, the Caribbean connection. Feels like 2022 all over again if those two can get the strikers across the line. That rivalry between them and the Blazers, one of the defining rivalries in MILC. That one dragged, and it's going to be a misfield out at the boundary, and it carries over the rope. The hard yards put in to try to get to that ball before it got over on its own, but booted. And as a result, 4 runs to end that over. The 6 and the 4 mussing up what had looked like a pretty decent Vagella over to start with. 9 overs gone. San Diego 61 for 3. Asking rate down to almost exactly a run a ball. I missed saying this. Time for leg spin. Zia Muhammad Shahzad into the attack for the Grizzlies. Welcome back from Atlanta. Practicing the run up here with the Fire last year. Took 10 wickets at a strike rate of 1 every 15 balls, but the economy 9.08. It really was largely the left-handed batters, though, that were victimizing him. He gets to face a pair of righties here. First delivery with a lot of flight, grounded straight to the man in the covers. San Ramon Grizzlies looking for the breaks. They have not gotten it from Vatsal Vagella. They will look for it now from a different spinner. This one run just wide of Shahzad into that vacant area on the onside. Kakani up to take it. Shehan Fernando starting to turn this arrow in the right direction for him personally. It had been diminishing returns in his 3 matches as a Surf Rider. 79 off 45 on Friday, then 16 off 22, and then a 3-ball duck. That one off the edge of the bat, on its way to extra cover. And a single there for Shehan as well. Skanda back on strike, 20 off 25. pierces a gap on the offside, and another single. Shahan has that one aerial and lucky to have it make it to the ground. Ball brought back in, 2 taken off of it. This partnership now has better than doubled the score when it came in. They were at 32 for 3 when Shahan Fernando walked to the crease, now 66 for 3. That one pounded into the ground, and it hops up over the top of the fielder in the circle. It'll just be a single, though. So 6 runs from it, a double, 4 singles, and a dot. And with that, we reach the halfway point of the run chase, 67 on the board, 61 more required, and it is time for a drink.
Coach, you can go too. Seven. 67. 10 over 67. 67 in 10 overs. I mean, they know 10 overs, but 16. Run a ball. Run a ball, boys. Run a ball. Suprant. My back. Swarm of bugs, right? He wasn't there in the middle, but in the end, edges it was there. I think I ate some yesterday. Possible.
Welcome back. 61 required off 60 deliveries for the San Diego Surf Riders to make it an even 2-2 going into their final match up here in Northern California tomorrow against the Strikers in Morgan Hill. San Ramon Grizzlies, dang it. San Ramon Grizzlies trying to avoid that fate. If they can hold on here, they would go to 2-1, leading into their doubleheader tomorrow. What we've seen so far, Skandar Rohit Sharma and Shahan Fernando, really what's gotten it done to this point. That partnership with the 21 off 26 and the 17 off 12 has added up to 35 from 22 after they came in at 32 for 3, just outside the power play. So they've raised the tempo. They've also managed to survive for a lot longer than most of the partnerships we've seen over the course of today's game. When the Grizzlies started losing wickets after that opening quick stand, they kept on losing them. I like to say you get smash-mouthed a little bit there. The hits start coming and they don't stop coming. Shows my age, I think. First delivery from Hattrick after the drinks break. A dot delivery, Shehan Fernando on strike, 17 off his 13 so far. Kakani coming at you from the Sahadeo Pavilion end. His first ball and his second ball both in on the stumps, trying to crowd Shehan, not let him get those levers extended. This all-time series led by the Grizzlies 6-2. Last 2 seasons, though, the clubs have split their pair of games. Before that, it was 4 consecutive wins in the first 2 seasons. Shehan thinks a little better of offering at that one. It'll be a 3rd dot on the bump. For San Diego yesterday, the early game, their first ever victory in Northern California. Their SoCal brethren did the same the day before when they beat the Thunderbolts. It was their first victory in Northern California. Both of them hoping to avoid getting stuck on that one. Right now, it's Shehan Fernando that's stuck. 17 off 16 now after 4 consecutive dots from Kakani. Harish, somebody who the later it gets, the more efficient, the more stingy he gets. That one's run through a gap on the offside. They do have protection out in the deep, though, and it'll just be the single run. Sahil Garg, reminding me a little bit of another number 27 youngster that I watched back in 2021, my very first game. Sanjay Krishnamurthy made my eyes pop out of my head, and that was just watching him boundary ride. Barely got to see him bowl or bat at this point, and I've since learned he's better at those 2 things than he even is at the fielding, but I learned at that point that if you want to get my attention as a cricketer, sell out like crazy out there. Go all Mitchell Santner, go all Glenn Phillips, go all Ravindra Jadeja on me. That one's going to be a wide after a lot of stump targeting. Kakani with a different approach to Skanda Sharma. Can't quite get the radar right. Speaking of Sanjay, his Blazers still working to try to protect that 160 target against Silicon Valley. The strikers need 58 off the last 35 to get home. Required rate is just about touching 10s now in Morgan Hill. That one run to the offside to point. Picked up by Manav Nayak, and that'll be a dot delivery to finish. Just 2 runs off the first over after drinks, and only one of those off the bat. Kakani, solid. San Diego 69 for 3. A look at the bowling card so far for the San Ramon Grizzlies, and really only Vagela taking tap. Sundaresan's 10 off of his over, largely self-inflicted, a series of wides on either side of the wicket that he took. Desai, Tajwali, Kakani, all under a run a ball. Of course, Zia Mohammed Shahzad staying in the attack right now. Gave up exactly a run a ball in his first over. Swing and a miss, trying to read the spin off the mystery man. This is the point in the game where if you start stacking dots, you can make that score on the board climb in a hurry. That one is just over my left shoulder as it heads to the boundary rope. Glad it didn't hit my monitor. Got some expensive stuff over here. A 4 bashed straight back past Zia Shahzad. Shehan Fernando says, I don't want to hear anything about stacking dots right now from you, commentator. That one across the carpet. A single as again, alertly getting to that ball. Get another look at that one, the full toss, always a danger for a leggy. Back to live action here as Zia Shahzad's next delivery is tapped to the man on the offside, and for the briefest of moments, looked like Shehan Fernando might have wandered too far down the pitch. He's back safely, though. This one swept back behind square. Definitely a single. Skanda wants the second, but gets about a third of the way down before Shehan calls out absolutely not. Decent comeback for Zia Shahzad from the 4 on the second delivery. 12 off his 11 so far. Last ball of the over. Attempted stumping, but the finger stays down from the square leg umpire. Rahul Jariwala certainly interested on that delivery, but it is just a dot. And that is the end of the 12th over. We'll take a good look here. Definitely a skip forward, and then you can see immediately Fernando doesn't even offer a shot. He just focuses entirely on putting the foot back behind that line and making sure Jariwala doesn't have a chance to pull out yet another dismissal. You are looking, by the way, at the all-time leader in dismissals in MILC in Rahul Jariwala, 75 entering the season. Second place is 53. Almost had another one there, 75 for 3 through 12. The partnership continues into the 40s. 43 runs now put on by Sharma and Fernando. I mentioned it before. LA Lashings, it took until they were 6 or 7 wickets down before they finally found the partnership that allowed them to work their way back into the game. And they were at the point of needing about 2 runs a ball from the last 3 overs before it all came crashing down. San Diego, not nearly in as dire of a situation. They were 10 for 2. Not 10 for 5. But certainly one that would feel a little bit wobbly. They also don't have nearly as high of a target to chase. 128, a fair far cry from the 150. Dot on the first from Kakani as he continues from the Sahadeo Pavilion end. Right arm over the wicket to the righty Sharma. Q ended off the toe of the bat. That'll carry to the man in the deep on a few hops. And a single there. If you're San Ramon, you're mostly focused on trying to starve them of boundaries. You can deal with them moving between the wickets, picking up a run a ball. If you can get a couple of dots here and there, you get them going at 4s or 5s. That's going to cause that required run rate to start jumping. It's the boundaries that are the killer at this point. They've been managing to avoid them for the last handful of overs, by and large. That one worked off the pads. It'll be another single as Nayak charges. That 4 that was knocked straight back past Zia Shahzad the only boundary in the last 21 deliveries. And that was on the heels of the 6 and the 4 off Vagella to finish his 9th over. Since then, it's been Zia Shahzad and Harish Kakani, the prodigal sons of this team, coming back from Atlanta and Dallas, respectively. Although with both those cities, you have to be more specific. Atlanta Fire, Dallas Exphoria Giants. Full toss, pushed to the offside, just in front of the hill. Picked up by the fielder. Another single there. The two young veterans, as it were, Vatsal Vagella and Rahul Jariwala, sharing a quick word. Current captain and former captain. Going for the off-pace Yorker. This one's dropped into that vacant mid-wicket area. Just a single on offer. Again, thoughts from one end of perhaps turning back for 2. The other side decisive in turning it down. It'll be Skanda on strike for the final ball of this 13th over. 49 required at this point off a further 43 balls. Kakani has been stingy, going at about 5s. Down 2 at the sub-fielder, Manav Nayak continuing to earn his keep as the 12th man. And it's just 4 runs from Kakani's 3rd over of work. San Diego Surf Riders, 79 for 3 through 13. They need exactly 7s from the final 7 overs. Here in Davis, 7 overs to go, 7 runs per over required as San Diego is at 79 for 3, chasing 128. Down the road in Morgan Hill, Silicon Valley Strikers now 7 wickets down. And with 4 overs to go, they need 2 runs per ball to the finish to claim victory today. It does look an awful lot like East Bay is going to get it done and level them at 2-1 in the standings. First delivery as Zia Shahzad continues with his 3rd over on the trot from the Usman Khan end is a dot ball. Shot through a gap on the offside, little bit of ground to make over at sweeper cover. Not a big deal though. 1 run taken for, excuse me, a dot delivery, my mistake. Did they not run? No, that's a 1. Okay, scoreboard playing tricks on me for a second. I was like, are you serious? Way too late to be turning down singles. Skanda Rohit Sharma, brief stumble as he tried to get back, but he is back in safely. These two came in at 32 for 3, just barely out of the power play. Very flighted ball from Zia Shahzad. Full toss, and that is dragged back behind square. And will go for 4. And with that delivery and that boundary stroke, we'll see here. The only reason it might be waiting to come up on the scoreboard is the question of whether that was a no ball or not. No ball. That does bring up the 50 partnership, which we'll take a look at right here while we have the briefest of moments. 52 off 44 after getting together in the 7th over. This one pushed just wide of Zia Shahzad, and they'll continue to add to that total together. Pretty equal contributions from both sides. Shehan at 26 off 25. Skanda hadn't done much at the time that AB was retired. That one is fired, but straight to the man at sweeper cover. And it will just be a single to finish it. So Zia Shahzad had gone exactly a run a ball for each of his first 2 overs. He gives up 7 in his 3rd over of work. 6 to go. 7's still what's required for San Diego at 86 for 3.
86 and 14.
And it's Harish Kakani steaming in for his final over of work here in the 15th. Last season, he was at his best in the middle overs, and so if you have the stats in front of you that I have, you would absolutely look to bowl him out here in over number 15 instead of waiting until 16 or 17. Last season with DXG, a 6.00 economy and a 13.5 strike rate. Those numbers both balloon at the death, 8.7 runs per over, and it takes almost 4 overs worth of bowling at the death for him to pick up a wicket. So this is the right idea. And that one picks up the bails, and right on cue, Harish Kakani has removed Skanda Rohit Sharma. Not entirely sure what to make of Harish's response to taking that wicket there. But you cannot argue with the result. A 1 off the first ball, and the partnership is indeed broken after posting 55 runs here at 87 for 4. Skanda still on this pitch has had his troubles trying to accelerate. 19 for off 28 yesterday, 2 off 9 on Saturday, 29 off 37 this afternoon. But he hangs in there, he provides the platform, and now it's time for the finishers to step up and do their thing for San Diego. 41 still required. That'll be off 34 balls if that's necessary. Harish Kakani removes the captain. And a partnership that lasted exactly 8 overs comes to an end here. It'll be an MILC and San Diego Surf Riders debutant, Rahim Mangal, in now at 6. Rahim, an import from Paktia, Afghanistan, 30 years old, facing off now with Harish Kakani. First delivery guided to the offside, and Mangal has got his first runs as a minor league cricketer. Last played a match of note in Kabul back in June of 2024, that in the Kabul Premier League. Shehan Fernando has that one knocked down by Kakani. Can't quite settle it in front of him, and so he will take a single, despite the diving effort from Harish. 905 first-class runs at an average of 25.85 and a strike rate of 55. In sanctioned T20s, 50 runs off of 76 balls in his career. For Rahim Mangal, who now steps in, 1 run already on his ledger. 39 left for San Diego to knock off to try to pick up win number 2. If they can't, it'll be win number 2 for the Grizzlies. Yorker from Kakani, handled at mid-off. A dot ball there as both batters turn to their respective creases. Mangal will face the last one of the middle overs. San Diego back to exactly a run a ball. 89 scored off 89 deliveries. They're going to have to bump that up just a little bit to get home today. 39 still required off 31. That one's off the edge of the bat. It will be a single, but Nayak keeps it on the infield, so it will be nothing more than that. 4 runs and the big wicket of Skanda Rohit Sharma in Harish Kakani's final over. He finishes with figures of 1 for 18. San Diego Surf Riders, 38 required off the final 30 as we hit the death overs. We have a final now from Morgan Hill. And if I were a sports newspaper headline writer, I'm sure I would do something with car crash, but with K-A-R as down the stretch, Rushil Ugarkar and Abhishek Paradkar responsible for 5 of the final 6 wickets. As that one's tapped back to Zia Shahzad, who will now bowl his final over from the Usman Khan end. Three for Paradkar, 2 for Rushil Ugarkar, 2 for Faisal Khan against his old mates from Silicon Valley, and the strikers fall to 113 all out and lose by 46 runs today. And so at the end of today's play, Silicon Valley, East Bay, Seattle, and whoever survives this final 28 balls are all going to be tied on 2 wins. That one hit along the ground to the man at sweeper cover. 2 dots and a single. Worth their weight in gold right now from Zia Shahzad as they push the required run rate up past 8. Shehan Fernando, the only surf rider with a strike rate over 100. It's 104. coming forward. We have an appeal for a stumping, and it is given. Zia Shahzad removes Shehan Fernando on a run a ball 29. And no need for any controversy there. He walks back dejected to the yellow pavilion. Came forward, could not make contact. Rahul Jariwala with a beautiful take. Sweeps that one down. Yet another dismissal for MILC's all-time leader. And for Zia Shahzad, it's got to feel so good. His first wicket back in the Western Division, where those of us who have enjoyed his work over the last 5 years certainly feel he belongs. 91 for the loss of 5. San Diego now in somewhat dire straits. Fernando gone on 29 from 29. That will bring Sonny Mataru to the crease for the San Diego Surf Riders. And Sonny has had an interesting start to his career here in minor league cricket. 2-ball duck on Friday in his debut against East Bay, but Saturday, 26 not out off 15, a very important cameo in what wound up being a 4-run victory. And he does have the capacity to go boom boom. 3 sixes in the course of that. Also had one to account for all but one of his runs when he went for 7 off 10 in the nightcap. Let's see what he does with leg spin. First delivery navigated to the offside. A single there as Zia Shahzad and Harish Kakani on their returns. Admittedly, Kakani's been bowling here, but it's the first time I've gotten to see him, so it certainly feels like their returns, and for Zia, it assuredly is. Have bowled expertly. That one is guided wide of the man on the circle in the offside, but there is protection in the deep. It'll just be a single run. 3 from it, and the wicket of the set batsman Shehan Fernando. Applause all the way around for Zia Shahzad. He finishes with 1 for 22. 35 required off the final 24 balls for victory. San Diego 93 for 5. With the recent fall of wickets, we'll take another look at the bowling card. We've just seen the 1 over from Akash Sundaresan. Otherwise, it looks as though the Grizzlies may simply make use of the other 5 bowlers, just have one come up short of the full complement of 3. They've got 1 more of Desai, they've got 2 more of Wali, 2 more potentially of Vagela. Kakani and Shahzad now bowled out. But they have certainly done their part, especially with the wickets in their final overs. Desai and Wali took 2 in overs number 2 and 3. Kakani and Zia do it in overs number 15 and 16. The one in the middle, the dismissal of A.B. Reddy by Akash Sundaresan in an over that otherwise was a little charitable. It's going to be Taj Wali back into the attack. His first 2 overs went for a total of 6 runs. A wide, 2 singles, and a double in his first over of work. His second over, 4 dots, a single, and the wicket of Snell Patel before he got a chance to do much of anything. The day after, he put up 48 runs, threatened a first career MILC 50. To have him dismissed for a single run, to have A.B. Reddy gone for 11, put the onus on the captain and on the new Sri Lankan Shehan Fernando, both of whom put up 29. It will now fall to the Afghan debutant Rahim Mangal and Sonny Mataru. Mangal on strike to start. First delivery batted straight back into the hands of Wally. Taj back at the same side of the ground where he bowled his power play spell. Suppose the big question is going to be, does Ayan Desai take the next one from the Usman Khan end, or do you save him for the 20th? Worked off the pads. Long run out there in the deep. Might have thought about trying to take a second, but didn't look like Sonny was interested in that from the very get-go. Sonny might just want a hit. All told, 33 runs off 27 balls faced as a minor league cricketer this weekend. 2 dismissals, 1 not out. That on the high score of 26. As we said, absolutely capable of going big. 24 of his 33 runs have come courtesy of long bombs. You combine Tajwali's speed, his pace, with the power of Mataru, could be big. That's just going to be run off the face of the bat behind point. They take one, they will not have the time, or at the very least the verve, to take a second. An applause coming from the assembled supporters in Davis, as well as the Grizzlies themselves at various positions around the ground. We've got a few of the ownership off to the left of our broadcast station. Of course, the dugout across the way. Fielding has been on point today. Only one misfield I can think of that's cost them anything. That one's going to buzz the tower. By that I mean the off stump. A bit of in-swing, denying Mangal the opportunity to make contact with that one. Might be for the best. If he had gotten the inside edge that seemed likely with that kind of movement, it's not unlikely that he would have chopped it straight on. Asking rate touching 10s now. 33 runs required off 20. He does make contact with that one despite the inward motion. It'll be another single. Wally doing his part. Huddy told me some decisive spells in there. One match in which he was incredibly economical. Took out an opener and a finisher. And then one where he was a bit more destructive, if a bit more expensive, taking 3 for 32 against East Bay in a win. Final ball of this over for Wally. Outswing carries it to the face of Mataru's bat. He'll run that down to third. They'll take a single off of it, 4 from the over, and Mataru will be back on strike for the first delivery of the 18th. 31 required now off 3 overs, 97 for 5. It has been a lovely push and pull throughout the innings. The early damage done by the power play bowlers, Desai and Wally with the wickets in the second and third over. Then a period where the spin of Vagela and Sundaresan was taken full advantage of. 10 from the 6th, 12 from the 7th, 13 from the 9th. It's been pulled back now. 4, 3, and 4 off the last 3 overs. And it's going to be Akash Sundaresan looking for the proper radar, bowling from the opposite side now, the Usman Khan end. First delivery inside the tram lines and a swing and a miss from Sunny Mataru. As a reminder of Akash's 10 runs conceded, 7 of them wides. One that went to the boundary and one that they took 2 off of. That one run back towards third. Mataru will take the single. If you take a look at what's left in the shed, it's just Kunj Bhagat, Sabrish Prasad, and Supranj Kumar, 2 young spin bowlers and 1 pacer, and then Sukwant Sekon, who's been coming in at 11. That ball run back towards fine leg, goes for a pair. Brings up the 100 for San Diego Surf Riders. They need 28 off the last 15 now. Dragged on the ground towards a wide long on. Vagela there. He'll come up with it. 4 so far off the first 4. The time to go a run a ball, though, has long passed. You need those extra ones on top of the 120, and you need them soon. That one's lashed. Takes one big hop, and that is going to end up tricking the fielder at long off. Off the bat, that looked like maybe a little bit of a race to get to the boundary, but Ayan Desai struggling to read what was an absolutely unreal bounce on that one, and the boundary they have needed so badly finally arrives. We'll see if we've got a decent view of that. Sunny Mataru, we're back to live. Mataru dragging that along the carpet. This one a fair bit simpler for Ayan Desai as you see that giant bounce that produced the 4. And so with that last ball going for a single, it's 22 required off the last 2 overs, 106 for 5. $22 off 12, the ask for San Diego to move to 2-2 on the season. If they can't get it, the Grizzlies will be the team that then goes over 500 at 2-1. Coming over the wicket, it is Tajwali to bowl the penultimate. And he goes right through the defenses of Sunny Mataru. And he's got wicket number 6 down, and maybe the last particularly dangerous batter. The Grizzlies absolutely now heavy favorites from this point forward. Looking for the Yorker. May have missed it just a smidge short, but beats Mataru for pace. Can't get the bat down in time and blows up his castle. For Wali, his 2nd wicket. He was responsible for Snell Patel on the first ball of his 2nd over of work. That is a huge one. Mataru gone, the danger man, with 9 off 8. 106 for 6, and now 22 required off 11. Exclusively tail-enders left, and it will be Sukwant Sekon, who has in his past demonstrated an ability to get a hold of one. Sukwant Sekon, if you take a look at his time, particularly in 2021, had a 57 against Austin Athletics and a 40 not out against Hollywood Master Blasters. Finished that season with a strike rate of 137 and a 17 average. Last year, not the same kind of batter. 8 off 14 and dismissed 4 times by 4 different bowler types. So far this year, bowled on 2 off 5, bowled for a golden duck, and out for 3 off 4. And he's going to be going for another golden duck. Tajwali on a hat trick, cleaning up the San Diego tail and trying to give the Grizzlies that roar towards victory. Tajwali Yorker machine. Hari Venkataramani told us he bowled some really decisive spells in the 2 matches that he'd had so far. That one, a picture-perfect Yorker. We argued whether the one to Mataru might not have been quite where he wanted it, but was just quick enough to get through his defenses. That one was perfection. Sekon has to walk for a golden duck. Wali on a hat trick, second time today. We've said that. Supranj Kumar did it earlier. Part of me was kind of hoping that was going to be who came out to defend it, but instead it is Sabarish Prasad. He will come out to pair Rahim Mangal. As San Diego just try to survive at this point, it's now 23 required off 10. And you're asking a debutant in MILC and a trio of bowlers to try to drag you across the line. Kunj Bhagat and Supranj Kumar, the only remaining batters in Emmanuel Benjamin and Skandar Rohit Sharma's quiver. Hat-trick ball. There have been 10 in MILC. Does Tajwali have the 11th? Popped up, but it will find the green grass. This entire weekend has been a tease. That is at least the 4th hat-trick ball we've had in just the games I've called. And as I mentioned, Hari Venkataramani, he saw 2 hat-trick balls in the span of an over when Sarab Netravalkar went wicket wide, wicket dot, wicket, wicket in the 5th over of yesterday's game against LA. Of course, after all of that fun, it's Dev Prasad who ends up with the hat trick earlier today in the NY Ovals. That is a little bit of invention. Rahim Mangal, welcome to MILC, and that is going to beat the dive of Vatsal Vaghela. At a very fine 3rd. That's the sort of thing you need to break the shackles just a little bit. Knocked over his own head. 4 runs there. 5 off the last 2. It's now 17 required off 8. If you're the Surf Riders, another boundary in this over, and you'll feel like you're absolutely in it, and especially if Mangal has just demonstrated the ability to do that. Mangal taking a look at the field, deep protection. Is at 3rd, backward square, mid-wicket. Long on, and sweeper cover. Digs that one out. May well have picked up some pad on the way through. A half-hearted appeal from Tajwali, but it is not given. 1 ball left in his spell. 3 for 15 from the 3.5. Including a pair of big ones to make this a much larger uphill climb. The question now for Rahim Mangal is, do you try to go big, or do you just try to get to the other end so you can take aim at 16 required off 6? Of course, first thing is you've got to make contact one way or another. Digs that one out, shoots it through a gap. That's going to be a foot race, and it is another 4 in the over for Rahim Mangal. No, apparently not. Correction, ball coming back in. It is not a 4. The ground mowing playing a little bit of havoc with me. I had my eyes not on the cones, but on the berm. Fortunately, we did a little surgery on the camera to try to eliminate the the blooming that was happening in the first innings, and it's now a wee bit on the dark side. Even though it doesn't end up going for the full 4 runs, it holds up out there long enough at the deep part of the ground to take 3. And so with that, the best of both worlds, a whole bunch of runs, and Rahim Mangal will be the one on strike to start the final over. San Diego Surfriders 114 for 7. It's going to be 14 necessary off the final 6. And we'll keep the chat right here. A big day here as this holiday weekend continues to motor on. We told you about the results elsewhere. In the East, it's been the New Jersey Stallions, the Philadelphians, and the NYC Titans all batting first and winning. In the South, the move has been to chase as both Atlanta teams have taken out the Fort Lauderdale Lions and the Morrisville Raptors, courtesy of Stephen Taylor's 51 off 12 that eventually became 70, getting all but 13 runs in that chase. Had a whole heck of a lot of nothing in the Central as the rain has ruled the day. Here, East Bay Blazers have gotten the win to go to 2-1 over the Strikers in the West. And earlier today, Seattle Thunderbolts defeating the LA Lashings to go to 2-2. Which of these teams is going to pick up win number 2 on the season? Ion Desai, the one with the ball in hand, to decide that. Rahim Mangal on strike, Ion over the wicket. Swing and a miss, but it's wide. Protests coming from all around Arroyo Park. But the umpire unmoved and says that one did not stay inside the tram lines. Admittedly, we have not got the best angle on broadcast to judge whether that was correct or not, but I don't think you need anyone to tell you how the men in red felt about it. 13 now required off 6. That's another one that takes a heck of a lot of seam movement off the deck. That one judged not to be a wide. 13 off 5. See very evidently the move trying to keep the ball away. Again, the deep protection is all there really is on the on side, with the lone exception of the men behind. But they have put all the protection out on the offside, trying to keep it away from Mangal. He'll drag that instead. Zia Shahzad charging in. And they're not going to be able to take a second. Sabrish Prasad will be on strike to handle the next delivery. 12 required off 4. Getting to the point where it's going to have to be at least a handful of boundaries. 3 4s or a pair of 6s get it done. But it's Sabrish Prasad who is yet to hit an MILC boundary. 9 runs off 15 balls coming into play today. He's got 1 off 1 so far. Cannot make contact, looking for the bye. Ion Desai sweeps off the bails, waiting for a signal. And it is not forthcoming. Never got the signal, but we do now see the new batter coming out, so it is 116 for the loss of 8. They tried to take the bye. Sabrish Prasad sacrifices his wicket, running down to the other end. And looks like a pretty good bet there that Desai gets the bails off in time. 12 required off 3. The wicket taken, no run given there, but Rahim Mangal back on strike. Throws the shot early. Ion Desai, known for the pacey deliveries from that left side, takes a little bit off. Grizzlies are almost home. 12 required off 2. A pair of 6s. And San Diego would take home an unexpected victory. Mongol 17 off 18 so far today. He's got 1-4 yet to go yard. This one has to leave the park. Swing and a miss. And barring a no ball, the Grizzlies just need to bowl one legal delivery to claim a hard-fought win at their home ground. And I'll tell you now, that is not nothing. The Grizzlies, despite throwing great parties here at Arroyo Park, 1-6 all time within these confines. They have experienced some absolute heart renders. This one just needs to not be wide or a no ball. It will be lifted. It will make its way to the boundary for 4, but it will not be enough. The San Ramon Grizzlies in their first game up here under the new branding at Arroyo Park, looking to turn a page. They get their second ever victory here. And they have taken the win by 7 runs, defending 127 all out. And holding on for dear life. San Diego end up at that run-a-ball pace that we were talking about the entire time. They oscillated to either side of it, but gave themselves not enough time to get those couple of extra runs to get over the line. A look at the batting card first for the San Diego Surf Riders. It started a little on the ugly side. 2 wickets down with just 10 runs on the board. A very different beginning to the innings to what we saw from the San Ramon Grizzlies, who came out firing on all cylinders, put up 44 runs in just 21 balls before the wheels sort of came off of that cart. In the early going, it was Abhi Singh dismissed LBW by Ayan Desai on the third delivery of his innings, as tends to happen. And then Snell Patel gone on just the second ball he faced, that out of the hands of Taj Wali. Wali, if you take a look there, took 3 wickets today, all 3 of them bowled. He has been bruising the stumps here at the Usman Khan end as he steams in from the pavilion side. 29s for both Skanda Rohit Sharma and Shehan Fernando. They stitched together the big 55 partnership off 48 balls that seemed to get Surf Riders in a winning position. But when the 2 of them went, and it happened rather rapid fire, first it was Kakani bowling Skanda Rohit Sharma to dismiss him, and then 8 balls later, Zia Shahzad getting an impatient Shehan Fernando to stumble forward and wind up stumped by Rahul Jariwala. When they left at 91 for 5, it was starting to look a bit on the dicey side. At that juncture, still needing, I'm trying to do the math in my head. Come on, brain, it's been a long day. Still needing 37 at that juncture off the remaining 26 balls. They would not get enough of a contribution down the order. Sunny Mataru had 1 boundary, but was dismissed by Wali for 9. He would then carve out Sukhwant Sekon on the very next delivery. Sabrish Prasad sacrificed his wicket to try to give Rahim Mangal as much of a chance as possible to deliver the winning runs, but it was not enough. They fall 7 runs short. A look at the bowling card. Happy reading here for the San Ramon Grizzlies. Everybody under a run a ball with the lone exceptions of Akash Sundaresan and Vatsal Vagela. Rare off day for Vatsal. He does not strike and goes for 23 off his 2. Everybody else, though, 3 for 18, 1 for 18, 1 for 18. Wali, Desai, Kakani absolutely going beautifully. And Zia Shahzad, that crucial wicket of Shehan Fernando, amidst going just under a run a ball for his economy. A heck of a day here at Arroyo Park. Not a single score over 30 for a batter, but an absolutely thrilling pair of games. We saw the Lashings seem to be done for at the beginning of their run chase and then build their way back in to the point where they just needed 36 off 18. Not a gimme, but certainly within range. We continue to see this pattern of the team batting first, winning so far here. In fact, if I have it right, I'm pretty sure that has happened for every single game I have called thus far out of the 5. and I believe as well for 3 of the 5 that Huddy has done down in Morgan Hill. It's certainly been valuable to get those runs on the board. Today it was Sahil Garg, Rahul Jariwala, and Kevin Stout, a bit of a communal effort to get San Ramon up to 127 even after the departure of those rapid openers. And it's Wali's 3 wickets and the economy of Kakani, Desai, and Zia Shazad that secures it for the San Ramon Grizzlies here in Davis. Just their second win at Arroyo Park. They'll look to pick up 2 more tomorrow when they host the LA Lashings for the last 2 games here in Davis of this Labor Day weekend. We hope you'll join us for that. Until then, for Stanley on the camera work, for Vishal Tiku at the controls, my name is Joe Hickey, and it has been a pleasure having you with us here on the MLC Network. We hope you come on back tomorrow. It's a holiday. What's better than cricket on a holiday? So long.